Oaks, welcome. Thanks a lot for coming past. You know, it's this is the 38 podcast. Let's fucking do it. It's a tremendous Thursday to get this done. Thursday the 25th. That's it.
Biblical. It's biblical.
Yeah, biblical.
Gonna be biblical, mate.
So today we're gonna do a couple announcements. You know, I'm gonna talk about a few things that are coming within the business in the near future. You know, release. We're just gonna cut all of that out.
Why?
I fucking lost what I was saying. I'm a little bit nervous, guys.
Chill.
Relax. Let's cheers again. Let's cheers again.
Yeah, just chat. Cheers.
We've done this before.
Round two. Oaks, thanks a lot for coming and welcome to the 38 podcast. Potentially the first of many, potentially the first and last. We'll see how fucking well this goes.
Pay for the marks.
Yeah, exactly. Who knows? I was legally recommended to give credit to the artist whose music I played before. So those first two songs that we heard were
Lady Smith, Black Mambazo.
No, that wasn't it, bro. That was The Doors, Break On Through to the Other Side, and Right Place, Wrong Time by Dr. John. So, guys, the proceedings of this podcast, we're going to do a couple of announcements, announce some winners of a few competitions that we've been going through with 38, and the main point of it is actually testing the 38 Vape Juice. So, got 5 different flavor ranges. I'm excited to get some open and honest feedback from you guys on the exact what you guys think of these flavors, and kind of move from there. Yeah, because with these flavors, I had a bit of a bee in my bonnet to fucking get it to market. Tabo, you know this. I was literally just gonna release a product and just go.
What made you come up with these? Like, how did you figure out these flavors?
With these flavors, there was a lot of iteration done, right? And I'd say there were 7 other flavors. 1 was taken out, and 2 were just we switched 1 out, and other
Did you get to
2
do
were
any
just
tasting before you decided on these?
Well, that's what we're in the process of that. So before I was going to chuck it to market without testing it, with no feedback on these kinds of things, and just kind of go for it, which in hindsight was probably not the best.
So we're the special friends, yeah, but they
you guys are here because I know you guys will tell me it's fucking trash if you don't like it, which I appreciate it, especially Reese. He's probably going to tell me it's trash anyway. So.
Jeez, that's hurtful.
But yeah,
jeez.
Somehow you really feel.
Cousin, have some faith.
But yeah, so worked very hard on it. I'm excited to hear what you guys think about it. It's been a lot of big process. As you say, how do we get to those flavors? It was a lot of iteration to get there. We added this and that, certain ingredients amongst them. Tabo, you'll know. So all these flavors are Malaysian concentrates. So it's very good quality. The product that is going to be releasing on the 1st of March in shelves is very different to the original product that started.
Why is it so different though?
Malaysian concentrates is actually the big thing. That was quite a big thing. We redid the whole label, everything on that. The label was also a big thing, because brand identity is very important to me. You guys know how particular. Shane, when we got these t-shirts done, my bro, how many people did we phone and I said, no, not good enough. You saying, let's go with them, let's go. I'm saying, nah, not good enough. So that kind of, it's branding. A big part of it is branding.
And so with the names on your brands, like how did you come? So obviously you had to make sure no one else had named some like one of.
Well, 38.
Lemon lime.
I'm gonna throw it right out there and assume that where it says berries, it's probably a berry.
Fuck you.
Yeah, bro.
It's like to make sure like that. Like, what made you come up with like lemon lime custard? Like,
well, those are the flavors.
Is there anything to it, or is it just basically?
No, well, that's the flavor of them, obviously, but. Like I said, there were these 5. There was a passion fruit flavor. There was a variant of watermelon, and there were 2 other flavors. Yeah, and I got some testing. It was unmarked bottles, and just to get some feedback from it.
So was this like the flavors that like you thought were the best of the ones that you kept, or was it like flavors that you thought were the best, and perhaps you didn't have like so many of like the similar or the same thing in your shop in other ranges?
It was a bit of a mental debate for me, because there were a lot of flavors that were cut out, but as you say, yes, there are, of course, there's going to be some sort of a bias, like the kiwi lychee is actually like, that's kind of my flavor. I'll go with that all the time, and that I kind of pushed for. I made that flavor put a little bit extra effort into it. Not to say that there wasn't effort in the other flavors, but that one was pushed a little bit. In terms of if there's another product similar to it, I wasn't too worried about that, because, you know, creating a good product when you kind of overlook the competition,
It's very
not worrying
difficult,
about if you're not worrying about the next best thing, you know, and I'm just focusing on making my product as best as possible. That's the difference between this juice being a house brand and a household name.
Is that why you took these 5 flavors? Is it because you back it that much that you could get it
Well,
out there?
these 5 flavors also got the best feedback.
Oh, yeah.
Out of the original 8, because it was 8, 9ish, you know, we chop and changed a few times before anything serious was taken into consideration. But so I mean, it was the flavors with the best feedback, kind of off the bat.
I mean, I'd also say like I said, because there'll be like variations. Like there's a custard tart, there's a custard over there, and you've obviously got the custard tart. If an oak comes in, you know, doesn't want to spend that much, or you're out of one and you have the other one, like at least you can still walk out
it's that backup.
satisfied.
Yeah, you know, it's that backup.
You know, it's like you've got something for everyone. You know?
I get that.
Yeah.
This product was not made. It's not made to just be a satisfactory thing. They don't have this. Let me grab that. That's not what this product is.
Well, no, I understand
You're
That's
gonna
not
be the first one to get
that's
off,
not
bro.
why it's on the shelf.
But also, what you
You
have
know
to think
what I mean?
about though is a lot of people that have been smoking vape for a while will have certain brands and flavors
Yes,
that they
yes,
are stuck
yes.
on. So it will be difficult for you to convince
To
people
get
that,
that-
this is the
Yeah,
this
to
is
that
where
make
makes
marketing
people.
that,
comes into
exactly.
play.
You see that's also
Brand
why.
image, bro. That's
That,
the
exactly.
thing, yeah.
That's why I spend so much time on the labels
Yeah.
and iterated so much, and that's a big part of it.
I've also got another question for you, Jared. So obviously in vape, there's your 2 groups. You got your dessert flavors and you got your fruit flavors. When you were doing your research and stuff like that, just for as a vapor, like I'm interested to know, what did people like more? What feedback did you have? Sort of, what was better, the dessert or the fruit?
You know, from what I've seen, if someone is used to smoking a fruit flavor,
They'll rather stick to that.
they'll stick to a fruit flavor. They'll maybe go for a dessert. But if someone smokes the dessert flavor, they'll happily try a fruit flavor. Does that make sense?
yeah,
So
yeah.
you know, if I only smoke the custard tart and come in here, you don't have it. I say, you know, it's more likely for me to go from dessert to fruit
Than from
than from
fruit
fruit
to
to
dessert.
dessert.
Fruit flavors are loyal.
I've also found that it switches in like winter. Like you'll find, because I've worked in a vape shop before, and we found that like in summer we'd push a lot of like the minty, fruity flavors, and then in winter it would be like your custards and like your vanillas and stuff like
It
that.
makes sense.
Is that just
That
because
makes
like if you're smoking it, you kind of feel like it hits you a little bit?
I mean,
better, or
I would
what
say
do
personally, like I found that I'm more of a fruit person.
you- yeah.
But
same.
there's something about like a dessert flavor with like a warm cup of coffee.
Yeah,
Like a
okay,
winter
yeah,
On a
that's what I
cold-
meant.
on a
So does
cold
it?
day.
Yeah.
Like
So
it just
that makes
matches
sense.
the it just matches
That
Yeah.
makes
the
sense.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. But I mean, you know, coming back to it, someone said it earlier, there are those biases, you know, of putting a flavor to market. But a part of the reason I'm doing this, so we can all get some feedback, is that, you know, with the consumable product, and I learned this with the coffee shop first, with the type of coffee beans I was using, with the milkshake flavors that we brought in, and certain items. At the end of the day, my opinion as a supplier of these things, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter.
Can I bring you to something that I've actually, like in my Principles of Selling class we're learning about, in this book that we're reading, so it's called High Performance Salesman. He talks about how one of the biggest things a salesman needs to learn is that people buy for their own reasons, not for yours.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
a good salesman needs to
100%.
realize that
Identify.
as much as you believe in this product, no one gives a shit what you think.
Yeah.
You need to try and get in the mind of the buyer
Exactly.
and convince him that
That's
the
why I
product
want
he
to. That's
wants.
why I want to give this out. Those 50 bottles that were sitting there. I gave them away. I didn't sell them. I gave them away
Yeah,
just
you
to
need
get that
feedback.
Yeah,
feedback.
you need people to
You know what I mean?
people to
Yeah,
try.
yeah,
There's-
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I mean,
You gotta
that's
listen first, then you gotta learn, and
Exactly.
then you gotta lead.
Yeah, telling
Those
is
three
selling.
principles, bro.
we
Listen,
go.
then lead, bro. Richard
Yeah.
Branson, dude. That's crazy.
gents. Without any further ado, should we try the
Yeah,
first flavor?
let's get going.
Cool. Let's do it.
Let's get going.
Cool, guys. We've just we've loaded our vapes with 38 berries flavor. Super excited to taste this.
It's so nice. It's delicious.
Wait, I want to give credit to the artist. That was For What It's Worth by Buffalo Springfield, followed by Midnight Special, Creedence Clearwater Revival.
You sound like a radio person.
I was legally advised to say that. This isn't fucking Jacaranda.
You don't have to say it like you were on a radio station.
Welcome to
Might as
38
well
Coffee
sell it,
Shop, point 7. Please
Might as well sell it, bro. Yeah, so Oaks, very excited about this flavor. I'm like a big fan of grapes and berries and that kind of thing. Big fruit fan myself. So this flavor has 19% of your normal concentrate of menthol. So it's a little bit.
What's
on
the average?
Well, it's 19% of the average. I don't know how they work it.
Oh, okay.
So basically, you're just making shit up now.
Yeah. You're talking all.
It's over the average. It's a low mint.
Great start.
Nice. So it's a low mint.
I was just joking.
Cutscene.
Yeah. So I mean.
What's the safe word?
Low ice in the vape. So I mean, it's because I'm not an ice fan myself, and I know a lot of people are. The whole range is on ice, but again that low menthol. So give it a try. We'll talk a little bit about it as we wrap things up.
Before we get to like all the flavors and that, I want to ask Jared and Shane about like what's it been like opening up new stores in these kind of times with whole the COVID stuff and all that shit going on.
I opened up at a very unfortunate time. I opened on the 12th of March. So I literally opened these doors 12 days before the level 5 fucking lockdown.
I gotta say though, I don't think Shane gives a fuck because I just saw him trying to take a sip of Jared's drink like we went to.
They cheat.
But yeah, what's it been like, Shane, for you? Like, I know you started yours a little bit later into the.
Well, look, let me be honest with you. Bee culture was always an idea because my dad loves beekeeping.
So had he been doing it before you?
Yeah. So he was doing it for quite a while before. Obviously, I got back from England. I was having a gap here for a year, early last year. And bee culture, the whole idea, everything, the branding, I've got to give credit where credit's due. The whole idea was probably founded in the shop and on Jared's porch. Sitting, we have a few drinks.
So not sober, can I just
No, listen, whenever Shane comes here, it turns out to be expensive.
It's expensive.
We just do some new business fucking excursion.
The clothing, everything, no. So I mean, look, it hasn't been, I wouldn't say it's as tough as it's been for Jared. And the reason for that is because we don't have a shop. So
yeah, it's not brick and mortar.
Exactly.
You
don't
move
walk in
around,
there. Yeah, it's all mostly online. The services we do, we come to people's houses. So a lot of that's obviously you keep a distance, stuff like that.
I suppose bees aren't going to wait for the COVID to.
No, they don't wear masks.
You'll always
You reckon bees can spread COVID, bro?
Fucking
So you
I
guys
don't know.
class as an essential service.
We are actually, surprisingly. So
Depends how much money you got in this country.
look, I mean, we are classed and we've got a certificate. But when cops pull us over after curfew, we don't carry the certificate. We just say, look, we
I have a lot of bees in the back. You
We
want to
say,
check? Open the boots a bit, a few bees fly out, and the cops scheme. Cheers. Enjoy it.
But what is your bee called? That's what I want to know.
So
I've never heard of your
bee
business.
culture
I'd love
is
to
very interesting
know about
because
it.
the way we started actually, it's got nothing to do with bee culture you see today. It's got nothing to do with the clothing, nothing to do with like some of the products we're looking to move towards.
Okay.
So it started with, obviously everyone knows, bees are
Very important.
They-
That's all I
they-
know.
they're the
They're very important.
So here's a fun fact: they pollinate 82% of the food that you eat every single day. 82%. So no bees. You only got 18% left to eat. So what we do is,
Karen.
So we do safe rehiving and removal. So a lot of people, they got bees at their house or their property, they kill them. We rehive them. We take them to one of our sites, and they can make us honey there. They can live safely, and all of that.
Oh, that's
I need to tell the story here. I
just wanted to know where they can find
I
You get to your live
I need to tell the story of this, bro. So this oak phones me the one day. He says, "Yeah, I'm doing a live demonstration, bro. Come through." I said, "Yeah, of course." Myself and TK. So I go through there, bro. And it's a Thursday. It was similar setting to this. We drank a little bit more.
Thursdays are
I go
bad
through
days for
there.
us.
This Soak's doing a live demonstration. I think there were 30 odd people there. It was in Lynmere side.
So the first one.
And I say to him like, hey Duffy bro, he says to me, can you film? I say, yeah, no worries, I'll film, I don't mind. I'm like, bro, I'm allergic to bees, like just mentioning it.
Can we add in severely?
So
and we're past that.
Not just a little allergic, like he puffs up.
So I'm scheming. Okay, you know what? I'll do it for the bra. You know, if he's saying it's safe, it's safe. So I remember a distinct time when I was just thinking, this motherfucker. He goes at his shit. This so good. Like I rock up like this. I was wearing a suit. It was Thursday. I get there. I'm filming this thing. He's kitted up. He's got like 3 layers, a bee suit.
And you were worried. You were worried.
No,
and we're like, no,
she's not fear for the life.
So he's saying it's fine, it's treat, whatever. He says, he takes this vacuum. He says, I'm gonna go smoke these bees and get them. I'm like, cool. So as I'm keeping my distance now, and I'm like 2 meters away now, because now these bees are like
getting angry, bro.
They're going
I
places.
was trying to move them.
No. so I like he's like come a bit closer, get this angle. So I'm like cool. I'm kind of pointing it here. As he's like come closer. As he does this, he goes, guys, would you mind please taking a step back? The bees are a little bit aggressive, or they're a little bit agitated.
He's
and
He's taking pictures of the Queen for OnlyFans.
My bro, him and his dad in full kit are like there. He's like telling me like eventually my arms are over their shoulders. Like I'm literally looking over their head. No suit, fuck all. These guys are kitted, bro. Like 3 sets of gloves.
Because like Jesus, take the wheel, bro.
I was like, one flew to my head. I said, Daffy boy, I love you.
It's gonna be casual. God damn it,
yeah, fuck, bro. But I'm happy I did that for you. You know, in hindsight, I never should have.
Yeah,
but
wasn't a good idea.
Anyway,
What are you doing next Thursday?
He's busy next Thursday.
He's wearing a suit.
Double, by the way, love the suit. It's Thursday. It's Thursday.
It is Thursday indeed. Yeah.
Did you guys see Cyril Ramaphosa took the vaccine now?
Did you see him on Facebook like he was updating his like social media?
I
Like,
saw
it was
it on
casual.
LinkedIn, man.
Just took the vaccine, bro. Taking the
Cyril the squirrel. Legend, bro.
Yo,
So
when he
what do you
doesn't
guys
start
think?
growing extra love.
He doesn't stop searching, bro.
That's my thing.
Welcome, country of South Africa.
My guys, honestly, I'll take the vaccine, but I'll be the second 50% of the population.
No, listen.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
I'll swing my hand up to me and test.
Yeah, I'll take it. Season 4 of COVID. Because we're on season 2 now. It's the end of season 2 with COVID. You
We'll
know.
be the next Walking Dead.
Season 4.
No one knows what the rules are.
Yeah.
Making shit up at this point. Like, yeah.
But what's speaking up?
Would you take it? You seem like a conspiracy kind of guy.
I'm not a conspiracy kind of guy.
In brackets.
Like Jared said, I would take the second half, alright? And the reason for that is, so, a friend of mine messages me and says, did you hear the vaccine in Australia gave people AIDS? And I was like,
That sounds like a conspiracy.
That sounds like a conspiracy theory.
So Australia had 20 million whatever vaccines, and after the first person came back and was like, I have AIDS, they stopped everyone from getting the vaccine. No one was allowed to get
I
it.
got AIDS from a vaccine. Get stuff.
What
have you been doing?
I told you last week. So anyways, so like she says to me, some guy got HIV from the vaccine, and I was like, you're a goddamn liar. In fact, how dare you message me and lie so blatantly? So then I went on Google and I checked, and apparently, like, don't quote me on this because
He's an intelligent guy.
For legal reasons, we can't quote you.
So I heard that there was an issue with a protein in the vaccine that reacted with an HIV test, giving you a false positive. So it didn't give anyone AIDS,
But it scared the shit out of you.
You have 90 days.
All I want to know is what did that guy go through to say, hey guys, I got AIDS, bro? What did you do the night before or something like that? That's what I want to know, bro.
He was good to you in the first place. There's a reason he got tested.
The doctor was like, so you have AIDS?
Vaccine.
I knew it was coming.
You are HIV Aladdin.
He made a whoopsie and he had to lie to his wife, so he blamed the vaccine.
And he cheated
To some protein.
So in any case, then like, because now I was like following this whole like vaccine thing, and I heard that like somewhere in the kingdom of Scandinavia, they said that a bunch of old people died shortly after taking the vaccine. Again, don't quote me on this because we all know Google lies. So personally, I feel like, yes, I'm a responsible, functional adult. Of course, I'll take the vaccine.
Whoa. I don't know if you're responsible.
We're not going to quote him on that.
For the record, that last part was a goddamn lie. But yeah,
Can we touch on that part?
but I'm not going to be elaborate, right? And also, like from a responsible perspective, like essential workers must take it first.
Let them
go first, John. That makes sense.
People that really need it must take it because like I'm young and healthy.
If we get it, it's not going to be the end for us.
I'm not going to take a vaccine away from someone who like really needs it.
Yeah.
At the same time, I need to see what goes on after they take
It's a little bit of selfish reason.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
You know, I just want to. You take it. I want to see something. I want to see something.
You're more important than I am.
So what do you guys reckon? You're going to go for like the first batch when it's available?
I wouldn't say the first batch, but like, yeah.
My thing is, like, I was having this argument the other night at the dinner table. I don't think, like, the world, and I was talking about South Africa in general, but I don't see, as like much as everyone says governments are this, governments are that, they're not that irresponsible to be publicly and so like largely distributing something that will put you
the
in harm.
companies that are manufacturing.
But that's what, they won't just be putting something out that'll just put everyone, so many people in harm. Maybe a small amount, but the amount that they've put out,
I think
I don't see that being something they would put out to jeopardize so
what are
many
you going to
people.
argue now? Because people think there's like chips in these things.
But that's
not
not
like
that's the same
like,
like trying
I'll
to
be
discuss
honest,
with
at
Trump
the start
supporters.
of this whole thing, I was just like, dude, maybe there is a chip in this thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to be monitored. I don't want to be monitored. Bro.
Yeah.
You carry
I
a
just
cell
stupid.
phone.
Exactly.
100%.
There is all that
But
stuff,
that was
You
my
being
whole
monitored
argument.
as we speak.
That was my whole argument.
There's no point in saying,
about a
yeah,
chip.
but
The
you
chip
have
was a cell phone.
Yeah.
My point
We
is,
are always monitored. It is what it is,
if
bro.
there's a chip in the vaccine, fuck it, enjoy the show.
Whoever's watching me,
Yeah, it is what it is.
Just remember, as you wanted to be, you did this to yourself.
I think it's a good time now. I'm just thinking about it to mention that there's likely going to be some explicit content in it.
So good luck if you listen.
What about the flavor though? What about
this flavor? Well,
Jared, this is beautiful, man.
bro, I have to dig this flavor.
Yeah,
Very.
it's
I'm a fan
it's
of
nice
the-
on the tongue, eh? I don't know
I don't know how to judge it.
It just tastes very
I meant
lekker.
to spit it out like wine. I don't want to do
Yeah,
that. I don't want to
I have
taste
nothing to pair it
Hey,
with.
what do we? Where's the glass,
I'm
bro?
gonna get candles on there when I spin it around. No, but it's, and like I don't know if you were talking about the ice part to it earlier. It's
Yeah.
not that much.
It's a little.
And like a
it's-
normal
it's
ice
a
thing, you
very-
feel like your throat
It's a
gets
very
hits
undertone.
your
You know,
throat.
it's a very undertony.
Yeah,
So, the berries, like personally, I'm not really a berries person. So, my honest opinion would be that it's not an all-day flavor for me, but having worked at a vape shop and tried everything, because you have to know what you're selling,
Yes.
I can more or less tell a little bit when a flavor is well made and when a flavor is garbage. And it's pretty well made. Like
Yeah,
it's a
people
good,
like
it's a good
this.
flavor.
People like
Yeah,
this.
it's
It's
an
a
enjoyable
likable
flavor.
flavor.
It's
It
not
is,
what
it's
I
really
would
nice.
do.
yeah. And going back on what Tabo said, like now that he said it, I actually, as much as it's nice and I enjoy it, it's not an all-day thing for me. Like I wouldn't like to
does
just
have that-
get a
it
whole
does
thing
have
and
that
suck
bit
on
of a
this thing for an
sweetness,
all-day type of thing.
It does have that
I would,
bit of
and maybe like a
sweetness.
little bit for
It's
now
one
and
of
then
those.
change
I
it.
think it's one of those flavors. You know, you buy because you like it.
Yeah,
But
you
you
either
won't
really have
smoke it
you don't use it all the
continuously.
time.
You
or
buy
you
two
really,
flavors.
you're really into it.
You
or
buy two
you-
flavors.
you
No,
like-
I agree with you, and
But-
I mean it's. I did pick this up in the previous tasting. You know, it's not the first time I'm hearing that it's not an all-day flavor.
Yeah.
But it's not to say that just because you can't smoke it all day doesn't mean it's bad flavor.
Yeah,
Bro,
it's really
yeah.
nice.
It's
You know what I
nice,
mean?
nice,
Really
but
nice.
yeah.
For example, Majestic Tsingtao Ice. I don't know if you guys have tried it.
Yeah.
Fucking name that, bro.
Ah.
Can you just go with
No, listen, bro.
Majestic Zinchen. I smoke that one a lot.
You
Oh,
smoke
Mother
Majestic.
of Mary.
Majestic's whole range are I'm a big fan of, and I smoke mostly their cherry slushy. That's the
Onto the
Yingtao.
top seller in South Africa for that.
No, not the top. Yeah.
He's there. He's
Okay,
there.
but so going on now that you
Fully
made your own
ranked, bro.
flavor and you're a big fan of that brand, what makes you such a big supporter of that brand specifically that you could
I think
probably
it's-
take into these
And what's
flavors?
gonna make you better than that?
Yeah, yeah,
That's
exactly,
the main
yeah.
question, bro.
So, to be honest, I look at it from anything that I put in these shelves. I look at it first before I consume it. I look at it,
Yeah.
and that's just the way I am. You know, with my branding and my logos.
So it all
and
goes back
What do
to
you look for?
branding.
It comes
What are
back
you
to-
what are you looking for
Eye-catching,
specifically?
eye-catching.
You
always
don't want
go
it, you don't want it
back
to be
branding.
like you don't want it to be bland.
I want it mustn't look like it is made cheap.
Oh, okay, yeah.
A bottle must not. Something mustn't look cheap.
Someone's put
You know
something
what I
into
mean?
it. Like
Yeah.
Exactly,
hard
exactly,
work, bro. It's
exactly.
hard
Like
work,
I actually, there was a guy. I'm not going to mention names or anything, but he wanted to stock beard oil here for the barbershop side of things, and I said, cool. You know what? Bring me a couple of bottles. And he actually dropped them off today. He put 2 bottles on my office in the desk there. I wasn't here. I got back and I looked at it. I'm not even going to try them, guys. I'm not even shitting you. I'm not even going to look twice at them. I looked at this bottle
is that
and
because it doesn't match the shop?
because it looks cheap.
Oh, okay.
It looks like they were
So
corner
something you don't
stuff.
associate with your
People buy
brand.
what
Exactly.
they see, dude.
Yeah.
It's not like everyone buys a pair of Nike Takis because it looks nice, bro. It can be the most uncomfortable thing you ever
It
wear
has
in
a
your life.
name to it.
And it looks nice, and there we go. It's got a name.
As much
as
much as they say don't judge a book by its cover.
We all
Yeah,
do.
bro,
It's
bro,
natural,
bro,
bro. It's
bro,
natural.
bro.
Wow. Oh my God,
Human-
you look like you have a great personality.
Fuck This beauty's not on the inside, I can tell you that for sure.
But I mean,
Yeah.
so Jared, you're talking about the quality of how it looks, this look quality, stuff like that. You were chatting earlier about what you put into your vape. So you said it's Malaysian something.
Yes, Malaysian
something.
concentrates.
Malaysian. So what's the difference between any other thing that's not Malaysian concentrate and Malaysian concentrate? Because
You know, you need to be able to vape a lot. Tubble will stand for me here. You taste the difference. At some stage, it's so essentially everything that's in there is the equivalent to an imported flavor.
Okay.
As opposed to something that is locally produced. And don't get me wrong, I'm very proud, you know, made in
local,
South
bro.
Africa.
Made in
Yeah.
SA,
Made in
but
SA.
Yeah,
It's
made
made
in
in
SA,
SA.
that's it.
But we tried both, and one was by a long
It
shot.
would be like equating a Toyota.
So I mean, in that sense, you know, just out of 10 in general, you know, 1 being shit, 10 being good.
It's a good flavor.
In all honest, I think I give it between a 5 and a 6. Like, it's good, but for me personally, like, I haven't really tried the rest. But I would buy it if this is like the only flavor.
Yeah,
I
but
buy.
the thing is, like I've tasted a couple of your flavors. I don't really vape. I really enjoy this. I do. It's not an all-day flavor,
Yeah,
but I
it's
enjoy
something I
this,
could
right?
come like it could almost like convince me into.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
I agree with
I
you.
get
Yeah,
Look, I'm gonna
that's
go
it.
against the grain a bit, Look, I mean, I'm a big fruit vaper. All I vape is fruit, as you know. Best customer over here.
He's the ugliest too.
Don't
no,
like it, yeah.
I was just about to give it a 9. I'm gonna give it a 2 now.
You lost out on a customer. Well done to you.
I think that, like, based on the fact that it's a good flavor, it's not an all day vape, but it is like you said, like you said something about like an oak having 2 flavors, and I assume I don't know if you got to the end of that, but I thought you meant like your all day vape, and like the thing you smoke
Every
is
now and
something
then,
different.
you know what I mean? Yeah.
From that perspective, yeah, it's something a little bit different, but at the same time, I'm gonna give it, let's say, a 7. It's good, so it's definitely above 5. It's an enjoyable flavor, and also because vaping palettes are so different.
That's the thing, you know. It is. It's a big.
early to say, and also like we used to have a dude who is a friend of mine actually, and he made good flavor. Look, he was like starting out, and he was kind of like doing like bathtub madness.
Breaking Bad
stuff.
movie.
Yeah, but like you gotta support your boys, you know. And some of his flavors were really, really good. Some of them were fucking horrendous. And I remember there was one flavor.
Sometimes maybe shit. Sometimes maybe.
So when I think about when I rate a flavor out of 10, and I think back to that guy, and I have to give it above a 5 because it's good. Whereas if he had to say to me, rate my flavors, there was one flavor that I'd be like 10. That's why everyone loved it. And then there was one flavor where I shit you not, it tasted like off chicken. Like the
Let's
smell
hope he's not
of it,
watching
yeah.
this.
No, yes, it's that.
You know
just
who you
stand
are.
Tell us how you
Handle
really
your
feel.
shit. But yeah, so I definitely above 5 because it's not off chicken. So that's where the scale starts.
It's a 1, I suppose. Better than off chicken. Cool.
Darren, your biased opinion. Give us your biased
I would give this a 6.6.
You're not asking for decimals, mate.
It's
I'm
between.
going to round that shit off.
Round it up to 7, yeah!
Between 6 and 7, closer to 7, but not too far from 6.5.
Yeah, like Tom was saying, it's not a shit flavor. Like it's definitely above
really
5.
nice, yeah.
But for
Cool.
me personally,
You can't
it's
smoke
not
it
something
every
I'm
day.
gonna go out of my way. Like if you don't have it, I'm not gonna drive out of my way to get it.
Cool, glad to hear
But
that.
like your 2 vape flavor guy, if I have an all day vape and kind of want to try it out, this is something I could see myself.
You know, every now and
grabbing
then.
just to
Every now and
Yeah,
then.
this
I
is
think
something
it's
that you
gonna
can sell on to someone
It'll
that doesn't
appeal.
vape.
Yeah, it'll appeal to like a different market. I think.
Yeah.
Okay, Oaks, on that note, we can try the next flavor.
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool, let's do it. Cool, guys. Drinks are filled, vapes are filled with custard tart flavor. I'm quite excited to try. Not a very big dessert fan myself, but I've gotten a bit of feedback from this, and it seems to be something that people enjoy. So, yeah, let's get into it. That was bringing it back with a little bit of techno. Sorry, radio voice back on, Riso.
Great music.
Bit of techno.
Hey!
That was
Proudly
Dr.
sponsored.
Shout out to the Greg nomination.
Proudly sponsored.
You actually put me onto this song.
I know, that's what I said. Proudly sponsored.
That was Dr. Drew Prairie. Cool. So again, custard tart going. Let me have a pull of this actually. Right. Stop watching me so hard. Now you expecting me to go.
Yeah, we need reaction.
Well, that's what we're trying. Yeah.
So we're actually going to start this one with an announcement, guys. Been working on this for a little bit.
Drum roll.
Where's the drum roll? Let me
I've been trying to get this brand in for a little bit. It's a UK company. Goes by the name of Royal Queen Seeds. They focus on their seeds, but I'm mostly going to be doing their merchandise. What did I do with that? Give us a sec. So we got some rolling paper.
Oh.
These are just the samples I got. Like I said, the brand will be coming in likely first week of March. Got some very nice rolling papers as well as some good grinders. This is minimal of the stock. You can have a look at that if you want, bro.
Yeah, swing it round.
Yeah, have a look at that. No. Yeah, so I mean, they have a lot of this kind of stuff. These are kind of the lower end of their products. They have some really cool.
Ultra thin, eh?
Yeah, they have some smaller grinders, bigger grinders. They do rolling trays as well. Very good quality. And what's the product like, bro?
How's it taste?
So yeah, that brand will likely be on shelves 1st of March. And I say likely because it's somewhere between the 1st and the 7th. First week of March, it'll be around. So super excited about that.
What's this for?
That's a filter brew.
Garrix, bro.
All the people who smoke the devil's lettuce will know exactly what that is.
Garrix or roaches, that's what people call it, bro. Roach.
The stinky Roger.
Yes.
It's Stevie fucking Roger.
Like it's quite pokey.
I mean,
That's how you know it does a good job.
On the note of cannabis, jazz cabbage as they call it, them young folks.
I've never heard anyone.
I tell you what, hey, bro, that's where it's all started, bro.
Do you just
jazz,
sit and make up new names for it?
No ways, bro. It started from jazz. There's just so many documentaries on this stuff. It's crazy.
So I mean, of course, we're in the generation where cannabis has become more accepted. But that stigma still hangs over it, It's
the
that
old people.
It's that cloud. It's that cloud above it, and to an extent, I get it. I do get the stigma.
The stigma.
Enunciate, boy, enunciate.
Third time lucky, eh? They don't come with cars, boy. I'm gonna amend the. I'm gonna invoke the fifth. I'm gonna invoke the fifth and not talk about that.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I'm excited to get that on the shelves and see how that goes.
So since you bring in the products involved with it, would you ever think about stocking any or producing any of your own?
If it was legal.
When it ever becomes legal.
It's more the legal advice.
Would you ever?
My attorney told me to say
would
that.
You ever make a 38 vape flavor with the devil's cabbage?
Honestly, I wouldn't. I would. As I said, there's still that stigma hanging around it, and because of my target market, and not even that, it's not something I want associated with my brand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a coffee shop and a vape store, and whatever will follow thereafter. It's not necessarily something I want to attach to that, because how many people will see a cannabis sign today
and still think it can't go in there?
Yeah,
100%.
Like I said, it is mostly
it's more accepted,
generation,
but it's still not there.
It's not there.
What's
you know
it
what
like
I mean?
in America, Reese? I mean, because it's quite further ahead there, I suppose, with the legalization and stuff.
It depends where you are. So in places like Colorado, where everything's legal, you can walk into a candy shop and basically pick up. You can tell the guy, listen, I'm feeling like a Friday night with some movies.
So you see 50 cents or something.
He can recommend. He can recommend anything you want. Something like, let's say you're someone who normally falls asleep if you smoke it. He can recommend something specifically for you. If you want, if you have work the next day.
I've had those recommendations before. That worked very well.
No, they're really good, and a lot more of the places, not just Colorado, a lot more of the places are becoming a lot more accepting. Like in Colorado,
I feel like mullet country, you can't just go and buy weed, bro. You know, like those Tennessee waterfalls.
Alabama.
You won't find it there, bro.
So the more, I'd say, conservative places, they're a little bit harder to get to, but in the more, I don't want to compare the more accepting to more conservative, because most are accepting, but in terms of weed,
they are less
Missouri,
accepting.
but
You know,
not
we
Illinois,
are political correct people. You know what I mean?
In Illinois, an hour from where I stayed outside, there's a dispensary because it's legal to buy. So like the places are becoming a lot more accepting. But in Colorado,
petrol must be expensive, boy. Driving an hour. Eh?
You're kidding me, bro. That's where oil comes from, bro. That's where they fight. That's where they start all the wars, bro. They fight for that shit, bro.
They need some freedom, like in America. They already got freedom.
A lot more people are becoming more aware that it's not as bad as like the stigma around it says it is.
I think, to be honest, I think it's gonna take a while before it's
100%.
I think it will become evolving, dude. So like everyone like accepts something slowly, and it just
people can't just change their ways. If
they've
grown up hating it or being told this is wrong,
so you have to build into it.
It takes a while.
But you know what else is interesting? What I want to know is going back a few years. So I mean, you guys might know a bit more about this than I do. Alcohol is probably, I mean, look,
it's the worst
you get drugs.
It's the worst drug ever, bro.
We all know. You get drugs, shit happens.
It's still legal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the thing, bro.
People are worse on alcohol, you know. If you get high, you know, maybe you go home, you watch a movie, you eat a bag of chips.
Wow. You're not gonna go.
How did alcohol?
Yeah.
I know where you're going with that one.
Yeah.
How did alcohol become so accepted?
Yeah.
Is it a money thing?
Where did they
100% it's a money thing, bro. How much money does this country make off alcohol?
But how much can they make off weed?
That's what I'm brewing.
Yeah, bro.
Think about it. The first person.
100%.
So
And
South
you know-
Africans
But
are-
you need someone to acknowledge that first before things step into
They started
plan,
in
bro.
America.
Yeah, well, there we go.
Dude,
First
all I'm
world
saying
country.
is the
We're not a
first
first world country.
The first
bro.
person
I
to get
don't
ahead of the
think like
game
that, bro.
in weed in South Africa, when it becomes legal, will be the next millionaire, billionaire from South Africa.
Yeah, but
because they will run the next biggest. I don't know how to word it.
Well, I mean,
they'll have the next best thing. They will have the next best thing that more people than anyone realizes can be a part of.
Yeah, but we all think that, bro. There's probably like things in plan and already set.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
already
100%. No, they definitely
But keep
do,
in
bro.
mind, bro, South Africa, you know, on a good day, our black market is unstoppable.
Oh, really,
If you
No, that's not something to be proud of.
no, it's not, but true. It's true.
how many people, especially now I'm talking.
We saw it during lockdown.
I'm talking localized. You
Lockdown
know,
is a good
alcohol
example.
became illegal.
Lockdown
How
is a
many
very good
people
example.
started smoking weed and consuming marijuana in some form when alcohol is illegal?
Yeah,
not just
man,
that,
there
think about
was going through.
Bro, this drink that I'm holding now would have cost me like 2 children.
But that's
bro.
what I'm saying. Think about how good.
Jesus, bro.
But that's what I'm saying.
thanks to Costa San
Think about how good our the people of South Africa are. Alcohol and cigarettes became illegal. Think about how quickly a small backsided
Oh my bro.
business became available.
Everyone
People
learned how to
making
become
money.
criminals
Yeah.
very quickly.
Yeah,
bro.
100%.
And
Because
it's
people
crazy.
need to survive, bro.
Yeah.
We're not in
It's-
a place where you get given things. You have to
man.
work to survive, bro.
Yeah.
Adapt and overcome, bro.
But
That's
yeah,
what people
here's
in South Africa
here's
That's
do.
why they received your stimulus check.
So
$2,000 or something.
So obviously it's going to be the next big thing, as Reece says. Obviously we know this. We've seen it in other countries where they've started. But here's another question for you. Alcohol is very successful. Cigarettes is very successful because it's addictive.
Yeah.
Is marijuana as addictive as cigarettes and alcohol?
I wouldn't say so.
I
bro.
don't think
I would
so.
say
I'll
definitely.
disagree.
Would
bro.
Would you say definitely?
I'll
And I
disagree.
will say to you, to be honest, I think that, the day that I can walk into Spa and be like, can I have a box of Y's and whatever you weed smoking children buy, I think that, it'll be a big thing for, a short period, and then the hype will die down.
Yeah.
Simply because, you can't openly go to the shops and buy weed, but that's never stopped anyone, bro. Everyone knows somewhere to get weed, so it's not going to be that, I don't think it's going to be that crazy, because we already,
But
how
don't-
many
So
Fords
you're
out
waiting
there
for
you
that
already know?
stigma to just go away,
I
for
don't- no, I
everything to
don't-
just
I-
be like, okay.
I don't think that.
Because then it's never going to be casual.
Because then
That's
people are
my
like,
point.
oh,
I think it
it's,
can be
weed's not a
casual,
drug.
like in Amsterdam. I think it'll be casual.
I agree. I'll agree with you on that point, but I'm just saying, like, people have exactly what he's saying. They've got this stigma where weed is such a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's actually not, bro. The
My
medical
mother
research
said that
behind
weed's
it
for
is
the
actually crazy, bro.
Oh, yeah, I've
The
seen
thing that it's like killed, I wouldn't say
People
it's
see
like
it
kill
as-
people,
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
help people.
How many
with
people
cancer
that are on
their
chemo and
deathbed,
stuff
bro.
recommend that you take some sort
They're
of
on their
cannabis
deathbed. They're
product?
dying, bro.
Our
grandmother,
Give them a
for
good
example.
way out, bro.
There's
Give them a good way out.
there's
They
plenty
recommend-
of
yeah.
there's plenty of psychoactive substances that help with these kinds of things, and they're purely illegal because, if I'm not mistaken, don't quote me on this.
No more of the quotes.
If I'm not mistaken, okay, now I'm talking from a worldwide perspective, not South Africa. I don't know the legislation, but LSD, magic mushrooms, well, psilocybin and THC was banned at the same time, only because there were psychoactive substances in it.
Okay.
You're gonna have to.
So was
explain
weed
that.
bunched into
So
the same
that's
thing?
essentially so that you
I don't
get
want to sit here and pretend like I know what that
you,
is.
you get CBD and you get THC, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Both come from a cannabis plant.
Yeah.
THC is the psychoactive substance makes you high,
Oh, okay.
makes you feel however you feel.
Affects
You
you.
can't put it into words. It's as simple as that because it's
Yeah,
whatever.
you can't describe
Exactly,
the
you
feeling of
can't
high,
describe that kind of thing. Whereas as CBD is the health benefits of things. Whereas, don't get me wrong, THC has the health benefits of CBD.
Not to, yeah.
100%.
CBD. It's concentrated where the THC is lowered for medical reasons.
So you're not.
Yeah,
just
they got
getting
it in
high and
certain
trying to
ratios
mix
and
it, yeah.
stuff, bro. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the CBD stuff on the shelves there that you guys can see. You can eat every single bottle there and not feel a single thing.
Actually,
I would
wanna
not want
ask
to
you,
eat fucking cream though, bro.
concerning that shelf, because I was looking at the and there's definitely fuckery afoot up on that shelf. I saw a thing that there was like foot cream or some shit, and I was like, I thought this was a vape shop.
Yeah, man.
Explain yourself.
Vape shop that sells foot cream.
It's CBD.
Do we get a massage when I buy a
It's
bottle,
CBD.
or is that a no-no?
Hey,
Oh, you gotta ask
listen,
them.
hey, I'm
If you
not
ask me
saying
to get a massage after
I'll
that,
buy it, bro.
Happy ending.
Yeah. But no, yeah, true.
Sorry, it's just like to go against the grain a little bit. Like I said, I make an example of like Wackaberry, right?
Yeah.
Fucking Wackaberry was huge.
Phase.
Big
And
as a
then
thing, bro.
dropped.
That
All
was
of a sudden, when was the last
That was
time
like
you
2
even
years.
thought about
Yeah, it was
Wackaberry?
like a 2-year thing.
I
and
saw a
so-
Facebook meme saying I seem fine on the outside, but inside I miss Wackaberry. That was about last week, bro. To be honest, like that was the last time I thought about.
Yeah, no, listen,
So,
I've
like,
never even had Wackaberry.
I had it
Neither,
I
yeah.
had it
That's
once.
not anything.
You know, I
That is
learned
not
last 2
anything.
years because I had it once and it was fucking shit, bro. That was ass.
Dude,
I remember putting
The
way
hype
too
was
many
so
flavors that should be in one cup.
I convinced myself it would taste nice and it fucking wasn't.
Dude,
I
I
went
had
to
one.
I went to the one in Cresta, I think it was, and there were just so many toppings, and it was like
Don't
I was like,
confuse
I'm
me.
not
And
doing this.
at a
I was
certain
like,
point,
no.
I kind
Just
of
give me a
told
fucking
what's gonna
ice cream.
taste
What's
good.
wrong with
I don't want to
It's like shopping at Woolworths, bro, is the most fucking irritating thing in the world, bro. Like, I walk in and I want pickles, bro.
But you're gonna walk out
I
with.
don't want deconstructed, artisanal, special.
But that's the first
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
You walk in and you want pickles, bro.
But they put
I walk
The
into
first problem
Woolies
is
and
you
I
going
want
to
some
Woolies.
lobby sticks, bro.
And it's fucking somewhere else, and you gotta be like, oh, that looks nice. Oh, that looks nice. But yeah, you were saying about Wackaberry.
You
compare
get those Al
Wackaberry
Gore
to-
endorsed fucking pickles.
The marijuana, because like I said, it's
It's
very
a-
easy to get weed already. All right, it's not like the market's gonna like explode. I mean, things will become easier when it's like legalized. I won't have to, fucking $5 sketchy Matchbox man.
Yeah.
The parking lot special.
But yeah, I definitely. Think
I invoke
that,
the fifth.
I definitely think that like it's not going to be as wild as I think. There'll be a hype and then it will taper off.
I think-
On that
Personally,
note,
though-
on that note, why was it not a big hype in America then? Why was it not a big
No,
hype
but
in
you see
Amsterdam?
that's what I was about to say. Like, I don't think you could. Like, I see where you're coming from about the hype with Wackaberry and then it died down. I don't think you can compare that to something like weed because think about how long weed's already been
Yeah,
in play,
dude, it's
and
so-
already
Oh,
everyone's already
dude.
been
Oh,
adopting
bro.
it. And now the
every
fact.
primary school already sold frozen yogurts for $700 at the shop. What are you arguing?
Branding. They put
Yeah,
a Wackaberry
they
put a
put a
brand
name
on
to it.
it.
It's
Yeah.
now becoming
Yeah,
legal.
there we
Someone
go.
can own it. Someone
Fair
can
And it was like a
make money off
do-it-yourself.
it. So now it becomes a
100%,
business
dude,
instead of a hustle.
When did South Africa start making money legally?
Yeah, fair games.
Or paying tax.
Any
You
legal
went
money we get
around
gets
it.
fucked,
Yeah, you went
But that's
around.
what I
Shane,
mean
I
is
was
like when
legally
it does
advised
come.
not to talk about that.
I vote the fifth. But Tabo, going back to what I said initially, so I don't know this. I don't smoke weed. So cigarettes and alcohol are successful because there's not only a market, but it is an addictive substance.
And it's legal.
Is
though. But it's
marijuana
legal, though. It's
an addictive
legal.
substance where people can say,
And I said
My
yes. I said yes
It
because
is.
I literally the other. So I personally I don't smoke weed, and
Yeah.
I know all the weed
Neither.
people are like you're smoking the wrong strain. But bro,
No.
like
every week I hear that.
so like
There's
like,
some sort of,
everyone here who knows me knows that I just can't sleep, and I didn't really want to like take sleeping pills because. Like it's just not good to be like pulled.
Yeah, you don't want to rely on something to put yourself to sleep.
So I was like, okay, look, fuck, like I don't like the feeling of weed. I don't like anything that slows my brain down. I was like, cool, I'll try it before going to bed because I heard it helps you sleep.
Yeah.
And bro, either I get massively paranoid, where like I've literally been in a situation where I was like, everything is fake.
What is real?
Like,
I'm in a
simulation.
simulation.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on a simulation, bro.
I was like, this is not enjoyable. Like, why would I? And I understand that it affects different people differently. And people are like, no, then
Some
you
people can function
try
off of
a
it
different
properly.
one, yeah.
And, yeah.
But
it
have you
was
not
like
tried like infused honey?
Yeah,
Like
dude,
different
dude,
ways
you gotta
of doing
cut the
it.
shit because
Yeah, I hear this every week.
THC is THC.
Bro, either I get
Yeah,
like
there's
mad
different
sleepy
ways
and like
though,
dysfunctional, or I'm post paranoid.
I
And
second that,
neither
man.
of which I enjoy. So for me, it's not for me. But I've seen people who like it works for them. Like some people don't drink.
They prefer to.
Yeah. But then, bro, I've seen people that smoke cigarettes like they smoke. I was with a guy the other day, bro. In the space of like half an hour, he hit this bong like more times than I could count. And like at first it was like,
Yeah,
okay,
but
that's
that's
a short
just
morning. And then I
dysfunctional,
was
bro.
just starting
Yeah,
to
but-
think.
That's
See,
just
but-
going out
But
of
that's the kind of.
bounds.
So what I'm trying to say is
There's
that.
boundaries. There's
So
boundaries.
yeah,
He's
there's
an addict.
boundaries
He's
for
an
everything.
addict.
So what I'm trying to
that's
say on
just
the
crazy,
story
bro.
about between Wackerberry and weed is like, I feel like there's enough people out there that already like weed enough that if it becomes legal, it won't just become
Yeah,
phase.
no.
Guys,
It'll
exactly.
become it'll just be something. Now it's easier. I don't
Yeah.
have to worry.
And
I
you
can
said
just go to the
it's,
shops.
I mean,
and
if
get
it's
some.
addictive,
So like I know what you mean
It's
about
not
it
gonna
being
be a
like a
hype.
phase, like we can buy legally, it's so cool, and then die down. I get
Yeah.
that, but I do think there are enough people that it's just so a part of them that okay, I can just
It's
run
just
to the
more
shops and
convenient.
get myself some weed and I can go back. That's what I think.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah,
that.
you know, instead of you having to phone a guy and
Yeah,
meet
I don't have to.
somewhere.
Yeah, I can run to the
Just go
shops.
somewhere.
Hey, what do you need? I'm gonna pick up something. I'll be at your house now, type of thing.
Yeah.
Like, there's enough people out there that are running off of, not running off.
There's
with it to
definitely
say,
a market,
but
bro.
do yeah, there is.
There's
The
definitely a
is
market.
wide
From a
enough.
business sense, there's
strong
definitely a
enough.
So
market.
can I ask you a question? In a
100%.
country where we have such an issue with
Dysfunctional.
alcohol abuse, 5 cases in point.
fuck you talking about.
Dysfunctional, bro.
Like, do we really need, something else that's legal that
Has an effect.
reduces abilities? Because it definitely does, bro. I've seen
Can I ask you a
people
question?
yes.
Tabo, can I ask you a question?
Maybe they wouldn't drink as much.
We control one thing and cause another problem.
Tabo, I have a question for you. When was the last time you heard about a guy getting high, getting in his car, and killing 5 people?
Or he was hard driving and smacked
And
into
not and
into
high
the
on
kids.
marijuana. So
Yeah.
someone smoked weed, they got in their car, they were dysfunctional driving, and they killed 5
Okay,
kids.
well, can I ask you a question, right? And
Answer
this
my
is-
question, and
no,
then
no,
I'll answer
I
yours.
have to ask the question to answer your question. This
Okay.
is I'm asking all of you because I genuinely don't know. Is I know that like if you get into an accident, they'll test your blood alcohol. Do they test for THC?
Well,
you
if they
test for
test in
every-
your blood, they can pick
Yeah,
it
they'll
up.
test that.
No. You need to. It needs to be specific. You can't just say
No,
what is
it-
in this blood.
Isn't a blood
you-
test of? They don't just specifically test.
Yeah, they are.
Is-
It's not a. It's
Is it
not,
illegal to drive after you've smoked weed?
Yes.
Yes.
And
It's good
funny
for
How are they
enough,
going to know that though? That's what I want to know.
So-
So, how's it drive? They're going to, you.
But does it
you
impair?
drive,
Does it
you drive.
impair your driving? If you drink and drive, you will not. Well,
But that's what
We
Tom
don't
was
all
trying.
know,
But that's
but-
what Tom was
but
trying to
that's what
say.
he's
Is like
trying
how
to-
many
okay,
people,
that's why he's
how many
trying to-
accidents that might have happened that people thought
We
the guy
don't
was
know.
drunk,
And another
but
thing
in
is-
fact he might have been high. That's
okay.
what Tom was trying
But
to
if
say.
you
I
test in
have-
the guy, how do you pick that up though?
you
See,
test
but
for
okay.
it. So
but you're
But
testing
you wouldn't
for
just stop
alcohol,
at
as you
alcohol.
said.
You
You're
wouldn't just
testing
stop
for
at
alcohol.
alcohol.
Actually, in Australia, they have the drunk driving stops, and there's where you blow for alcohol, and then you put the strip in your mouth, and it detects meth, THC. I don't
Like
know.
they use on the
Yeah.
Outback,
Yeah, no, they
you know
definitely
that
don't use the
show on
jazz.
the
So South Africa is actually one of
no, that's not.
That's not drugs.
South Africa is actually one of the only countries that tests for marijuana, especially in a road incident. So if they pull you over, they can't test you on the spot.
Yeah.
No, but I get exactly what Tom was saying.
if they detain you and take you to a prison or whatever and take blood tests, they will test for marijuana in South Africa.
I didn't
Not
know
many
that.
countries
Well,
do
then
that.
I'll ask you a
Yeah, I
question.
didn't know that.
No,
Yeah, zero.
I've never heard of a guy getting
Neither.
high. But at the same time, with Jared saying that there are like psychoactive properties to psilocybin and THC and whatnot, Bro, I don't need a person who 5 minutes ago was laying on the carpet telling me they see snakes. and
Driving
when
me in a car,
they're
yeah.
driving.
Why do you
Yeah,
look at Jared when you say
100%,
that?
very true, very true.
No,
Look, if it
it's,
impairs your driving, like I don't know, that's why I'm asking. If
Yeah.
it impairs your driving, I completely understand and agree with you.
Of course it does. Of course, I mean, people will be like, oh, I've been a stoner since I was 12 years old, you know, me and my uncle Roger, it doesn't do anything.
No, it's not cool.
You must have a massive dick, eh?
Yeah.
So, Oaks, Oaks, how's the flavor going? Because that camera's dead.
Jared, just start us off and then we'll work our way around.
So, from someone who is not a dessert fan, in the slightest, you'll
second
catch
that.
me. You'll catch me 1 in 5 times smoking a dessert flavor. I'm quite enjoying this. I'm not gonna lie. I'm quite enjoying this.
Dude,
And honestly, this might change my perspective on dessert flavors. And I'm trying to be as open and honest as possible. And I'm not saying it's because it's my juice. Honestly,
1 to 10, what is yours?
I had a pull of yours.
that's the answer.
You better not
I had a
drive
pull
out
of
with
yours,
that.
and I said, okay, this is fucking
It's
lacquer.
nice, yeah.
I give this a solid 7 towards an 8. Close to 7, but towards an 8.
Shane?
Yeah, look, I mean, I also don't smoke dessert flavors, as we've already established. I only smoke Nick Salts, obviously cherry, fruity flavors a lot of the time. I'm not going to say anything nice about sort of the flavor. Because it's a dessert flavor, I'm going to be dead honest, I don't like it. It tastes like, I don't know, like, I want to say,
creamy.
it tastes like
it tastes
grey.
like a cream, dude.
Like if the
I don't
colour
know what
grey
it is, bro.
had a flavor. That's what it tastes like.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it a 4.
Okay.
For me, someone who's like, I've never like personally been like big into vape, but I've been around vape and stuff. Like, it tastes it tastes familiar, if that makes sense. Like,
Reminds you.
it
of something.
reminds me of something. It tastes familiar. Like, I do like it.
I get that. It's a very. It's
A familiar taste for me. That's why
I know what you mean. You know, I had that.
Good or
And I
bad?
had that
a
same
good way.
experience.
I would put it a good way.
I had that same experience. You know, it reminds me of the first time I tasted a vape.
Yeah.
It was that kind of, you know, it's just
I
the
didn't wanna say,
original
but
vape taste.
I don't want to say, but for me, like in hostel when we were like, and like obviously we were not allowed to vape at hostel, but the first time we were like, I had a vape at hostel.
Good times.
This reminds me of that flavor. I don't know what flavor it is. I'd have to ask the guy who gave it to me, but I'm pretty sure he could tell me what flavor it is.
though, dude. Like,
No,
come on, it's
yeah.
like a
But I'm
long
pretty
time
sure,
ago, bro.
so like
Out of 10.
vape.
Out
trying
of
to
10.
keep it in terms of like this is a dessert flavor, and I did prefer the berry, but this is nice, so I'm gonna keep it still at like a 6, but I will give this 6-7
Cool.
because I enjoy it, but I don't know if it's for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think, so I'm a fruit guy, but
Fruity guy.
Fruity.
Whoa!
Tabo, is this the podcast?
Single.
But at the shop that I used to work at, we used to have a flavor called Gold Coast, which was this Gold Coast, whatever, which was like a coffee caramel, like custard.
Okay.
And I just thought it was the biscuit, like I thought it was the best flavor in the world. So it reminds me so much of that even because that was like the one dessert flavor where I was like, I'm in, like I would go and make
Enjoyed
a cup of
it,
coffee
yeah.
just to, so it like instantly when I vape this, I'm like, it reminds me immediately of that, and I'm so into it. So I think because it's obviously biased and because it brings back fond memories, I'm giving it a 9, straight up.
Cool.
I would
Good
agree.
to hear
I could
that.
agree with that as well. I
Good
do
to
enjoy
hear
this
that.
flavor a lot.
This brings people back, eh? You got something
Yeah,
in there.
it's
like-
a little throwback.
Memory,
Greg,
yeah.
Greg, out of 10?
Dude, okay, like, even before we smoked this, I was against smoking it because exactly what everyone's saying.
Non-smoker.
We're all fruity and stuff like that. I don't like.
I'm not
dessert.
fruity, bro.
Whoa! Like, let's be real. Everyone's against this thing. I've probably been puffing this thing the most. Though.
Yeah, bro,
That's
everyone's
like-
been
I'm just like everyone's like talking. I'm just like, but you can't ever enjoy it.
And let's be honest, I'm pretty sure at the start you were like, nah,
No,
that's for
I
me.
promise you, the
But
first
you got
couple of
into
pools,
it.
I was just like, this
Yeah.
is so shit, bro.
Yeah.
I actually, like, I'm with Tabo on this. It's actually really, I'll give it a 7. I actually enjoyed it.
It's nice, bro. Like it's
So
a good
I've
flavor.
actually
we got a
enjoyed
7, we got a 4, we got a 6 to 7, we got a 9 and a 7. Average.
Let's call it a 7.
Let's call it a
Let's
7,
call it
bro.
a 7.
Let's call it a 7.
Shut up,
Call it a
Mr.
7.
Kanye.
Call it a
Guys,
7.
let's fill up our vapes and move on to the next flavor.
Yeah,
That's
let's
cool.
do it.
Let's
Cool, guys. We are back and we've loaded the vapes with kiwi lychee. This flavor I'm most excited about, to be honest.
This is
I think this is.
Like, tag someone
This is the banger.
flavor.
This is the banger.
Yeah.
Okay, again, this isn't fucking High Fault Stereo, but we just listened to Going Up the Country by Canned Heat,
Doesn't get any better.
followed by Little Wing by Jimi Hendrix. You know, that's actually one of my favorite songs at the moment. That Hendrix tune. You know, I've really started to appreciate his music ability. Enough of that. Let's get on with it. Tabo, we're all fucking dying to hear about this. Tell us about Machete Mondays, bro. We are dying to hear about this.
Alright, Machete Mondays.
Sounds like a party.
It really was not a party.
The opposite, quite frankly.
So I have an oak that likes to visit my house, right?
And you're free too.
He's not welcome because every time he pulls through, shit goes missing. He's a burglar. I'm a burglar. So
I didn't know that was a common thing to have, eh?
a burglar, hey, bro. You know. Anyway,
Episode in South Africa, bro.
so this Monday, actually, I was sitting at home, and so last year November, my house got robbed whilst I was out, and.
Is this the same oak who used to sleep outside your gate?
No, because
Don't say it. I know what you're going to say. Don't say it. Pass. Pass.
that-
Invoke the fifth and move on.
yeah, that guy's never coming back. He's alive. He's alive.
Yeah, I was gonna say, probably
No, he's alive. He's alive. I know this, Chad. He's alive.
He's just never coming back. So
Hey, I'm quite interested, eh?
so my mom's in the hospital.
He pulled an R. Kelly on that motherfucker. Let's leave it at that. Carry on.
No.
Jesus, take the wheel, yeah.
Alright,
Yeah, let's go.
Flavor.
Machete Mondays, let's go.
For the record, I did not pee on a homeless person. I'm looking right into the camera.
No one brought it up until you just said it. I kind of think you're guilty.
He said I pulled an R. Kelly on a. Anyways, so last year in November, my mom was in the hospital, and I was writing exams, and she had said to me, "Look, I know you grafted hard. Go out, have some dinner, have a talk with your mates. Don't stay home tonight." So I went out, and an afternoon talk turned into an evening thing, and I was like, as it does. And I said, I'm not going to...
That's exactly what we're fucking doing here.
Yeah. I said, I'm not going to drink and drive home. I'm going to doorstep my mate's house. So, doorstep my mate's house, come home in the morning, my house has been ransacked. And, we know how the guy got in, blah, blah, blah. But my focus was split. It was between my shit got robbed and my mom's in the hospital. So my mom gets out of the hospital, I'm excited. We kind of forget, bro, and we forgot to reinforce that window. Right? Which is how we got in. So, Monday night I'm at home. It's a Monday night, it's 10 o'clock in the evening. And half an hour before, my mom had come into my room and she was like, "Ooh, it's dark in here." I was like, "Why do I need lights if I'm on Facebook on my phone?" Yeah. So now I'm chilling, and like me and my mom have a good relationship, like we make a lot of jokes with each other. So I'm chilling in bed, I'm watching some dumb shit on Facebook.
Those two Indian oaks building a pool.
It's one Indian oak, bro.
Sometimes one stick.
Yeah, one stick, bro.
Anyways, so I'm chilling in bed watching a video, and my door opens, like slowly, like creaks open. So I'm like, here comes mom. She's gonna be like, "Ooh, it's dark," or she's gonna be like, "No, I'm going to the kitchen to get you a cup of tea," because our rooms are opposite from each other, right? Yeah. Door opens, so I'm like looking up, like, what's mom gonna do? And someone puts a hand on my wall. And then I'm looking at the shadow, like they're like standing in my room, like this hunched down. I'm looking at them, they're looking at me.
Like everyone knows that.
You saw him see you see him.
So my lights are off, but the passage light is on, so I can see the shadow coming into the room. And I'm tripping the shadow, and I realize, first of all,
It's not your mom, my mom. It's not your mom.
my mom's not a middle-aged black man, and she doesn't have hair, right? So I'm like, and she doesn't have like small wrinkle hands. And it took me like a hot second to like reconcile the fact that it's Monday night and there's a stranger standing in my fucking bedroom.
Yeah.
Where does the machete come into this?
I keep a machete. Because I always thought that if someone broke in, I would hear them break a window, open the gates, because we've got hella security.
Let me use this cane chopper to fuck us okay.
Yeah. But the last thing I expected was like, we would be in the fucking bed, like
before you even knew.
We're choking each other. Like I'm looking at this man.
We have time to decide what we're gonna do.
Yeah, I mean, look, of course it would be a lie to say that I wasn't scared. Of course, when it clicked, I was fucking terrified. But there was like a hot 5 seconds where, so basically, he came in through. So it's my room, my mom's room, and then there's a spare room that no one uses with a bathroom in there, and that was the window that he broke in through initially. So he climbed in through that window.
To any criminals listening, that window has now been reinforced.
We sorted that shit out the next day.
Come on, the fuck, I got a machine, bro.
So
come at me, bro.
He came in, and my mom's bedroom was open. She was sitting in bed on her laptop watching Netflix, like out loud. He walked past her bedroom, opened my fucking door, sees me. I jumped out of bed, screamed, "Mom, phone the fucking police, there's someone in the house." Ran, grabbed the machete. I was like, "Oh, where's my time?"
I'm waiting for this, you motherfucker.
The first thing I did was, obviously, I
grabbed the machete.
I got the machete. I grabbed my mom. And she had just taken a sleeping pill. She was dozing off the bed. I'm like, "Mom, there's people in the house. Phone the police." She comes out. She's fucking confused. So a couple of years ago, I got a samurai sword for my birthday.
As I'm walking out to ready for war.
This oak was fucking list, bro. He said I've been waiting for this moment.
Yeah. So I keep it in my mom's room because I'm like, if anyone breaks in, she must have protection. So I grab the machete. I'm like, "Call the fucking police. Grab the sword." She comes out. She's fucking dazed, bro. She was ready to go to bed. She's like, "What do you mean there's people in the house?" She puts the sword down. She puts it on the wall. I'm like, "Grab the fucking sword. There's a dude in the house." So like, I snatch my mom. I put it behind me. We're walking through the house, looking through all the rooms. Like I'm like,
every time you walk
it's Machete Monday, motherfucker.
Yeah. So like,
it's one of those when you open the door and swing.
As that door opened, you're just like, "Hey,
okay, no one's.
Did you make those noises?"
Making lots of a serious situation.
I honestly, Oaks, it was the most terrified I've ever been in my life.
Yeah, bro, but the thing is, you don't know what that Oak's fucking capable of. Do you know what I mean?
Head, bro, like, what I said to myself was, like, it's me and my mom at home. I have to defend my
protect
mom.
her.
Simple as that.
So
Simple as that.
Yeah, thanks, bro. That's your mom, dude.
I was like, I'm about to get into a knife fight with a hobo because if he's broken into my house,
and that's his game, boy. You gotta understand, that's his game, bro.
We make light of it now, bro. But I'm standing in my fucking house. I feel naked. Like my mom is scared, terrified. I'm trying to be like. I'm like, get out of my fucking house, I have a weapon, like, and I'm walking through the house.
But you have no other option to be brave. Do you know what I mean?
That's the thing.
You gotta convince you gotta
him or his mother that's gonna take charge and your mom's.
You gotta convince that motherfucker that I'm better at this than you are.
Say anything with confidence, people believe you, bro.
Yeah,
100%.
I put that sword in the back of my mind.
That's how you make a fucking sale, my blood.
Yeah. So the jump between
don't tell everyone
see the dude, realize, grab my mom, grab the machete. Now we're out.
Like I was like, your fight or flight.
Yeah, so I was like, I was a bit sad because I'm fucking terrified, and I'm thinking I'm not even 25 years old yet, and the odds of because this is not his first rodeo.
No, but he knows.
He knows what he's like. I said, this is his fucking game, my bro.
He's in your house. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
This isn't he's seen you. He's like, okay, fuck.
Unless he was like a crackhead, bro.
And the fact that
like he just got there by mistake. Like, oh fuck, you got a lighter, bro. He came in there looking for matches, bro. He was like, got a light, boy. He was just gonna use it and duck. You never know, bro.
So the fact that he saw my mom's light on, he came to my room, told us that it was the same oak that broke in the last time because he didn't take.
And also he got in without you guys even knowing, so he must.
No one heard it, so he knew where he was going, and he like everyone here knows that I love my shoes, bro. So like the oak broke in.
And you said, don't touch my fucking shoes.
Yeah, I'd left my phone at home, my iPad, my laptop. He took all of that shit.
He
took 6 pairs of my shoes. I did not give one fuck about the tech.
Should have chopped
I was so hacked about the shoes.
Yeah.
So when he came in,
is that the same oak? Is that the shoe thief that you told me about?
Yeah, I was looking at him, and the way he came in, I was like, he came back for more shoes, dude.
Off the record. Tubby, you got to kill that oak, bro.
You need revenge.
Mate,
Drop him
so
up
yeah,
Don't hold this like live.
I was legally advised to not play that live, but here we are, so.
Don't stop like shoes, bro.
To bring it back down to earth, bro, like we can talk about it now because everyone's safe and like I know I scared the shit out of that. In hindsight, bro, I was sitting there thinking to myself like, I'm 25 years old. I'm about to get into a knife fight with a hobo. This oak is probably going to stab me, kill me. I'm about to die tonight.
In trouble, yeah.
But I have to defend my home and I have to defend my mom. If it's like you came between me,
Yeah, bro, it comes down to, you get into that
I was
animal.
scared shitless. Let me not even front. I was
You know what I
scared
just thought about?
shitless.
But you were shoeless as well. If I woke you up in the middle of the night and I saw you, and I saw your fucking sick hairstyle flying, the first thing I think, Alien vs Predator.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
I'm fucked.
Why is
But
it
not
always
just
the predator chat,
But
bro?
what I feel a lot of people don't realise is like in that situation, a lot of us could have sat here and been like, no, bro, in that situation I would have flung to
Yeah,
But
bro.
you haven't been
a lot
there,
of oaks
bro.
like
You don't know-
that,
yeah,
That's
bro.
them,
Been there, bro. You
Not a
haven't
lot of-
You don't know until you're there,
been
bro.
in that-
Yeah,
a lot of
100%.
people have been in that situation
100%.
and be like,
But this is
I was
sad, bro.
actually frozen. I didn't know what the fuck to do. I sat there, let him do what he needed to.
Because it
took whatever,
didn't make sense. It was like I was a strange man in my bedroom
without me knowing
Yeah.
beforehand.
Yeah.
And you're most vulnerable, because I mean, you
Yeah.
relax, you're
You're about to go
But you're gonna fight in jocks and slides, bro.
It's your comfort place, bro.
Hey,
That's
we've been
something
outside
where you relax.
Last place you expected to get
Exactly,
into a
100%.
confrontation, bro.
So I was
Okay.
gonna say, like the next day, my dad came to check on me. I was like, son, how do you feel? Because when my house got robbed in November, I did not take it well. Because I was like, I wasn't here. I felt very violated. Someone was in my space. Someone was touching my stuff. Bro, the
Follow
oak
the fucking
stopped for like a fucking refreshment. Like there was an empty bottle of water and shit. I was like, how long was this oak trotting? So this time, I
DNA,
will say that like, no, the fingerprints are okay, but like you know. So this time, I am able to say like, I saw the oak. I defended my castle. I defended my mom.
You
So
did
I
what you
go-
needed to, yeah.
I put a name to the face. So I feel a lot better
Yeah.
that I now know that in that type of situation, I did run to be
You
like
can't handle
defend.
yourself.
So
Yeah.
Protect what's yours.
So I was happy that I was prepared to do what needed to be done to keep my mom safe, and the fact
Yeah.
that as a man
Yeah.
I can protect my mom makes me happy
Yeah.
beyond
Which
measure.
is massive, bro.
Top of the main thing is, everyone is safe.
Yeah.
Regardless if something was taken or if something
That's
wasn't,
not the point, bro. You can replace
there's
shoes, you can
there's
replace phones.
exactly, bro, exactly.
Your mother's there, you there, everyone's
Yeah.
okay.
The main
that's
thing
the-
is, it's like Samurai Jack, right?
Bro, and
He's
Machete Monday.
Samurai
We got
Jack.
Machete Monday.
It's like he's Samurai Jack, bro.
Long time ago.
Yeah, man. So I mean, okay, let's get back to it. I'm thoroughly enjoying this flavor. It was mixed with a good story too. So I mean, it's pretty good. You know that.
Machete Mondays and Kiwi Lychee.
Exactly, man.
Go, babe.
So Shane, while you was talking, it just reminded me of it, the way me and you jawled in Manchester, and besides the party that me and you had, when I met you, you were at like a drink and at a bar and at like a dinner with all like your work colleagues who are in such a hectic sales environment. What did that kind of teach you? Because I saw that and I was like, is this the fucking business world? I walked in
Exact
there.
Wolf of Wall Street.
My bro,
kind of vibe.
so
Are
first
we
of all,
fighting for
2.0.
ourselves? Yeah,
No,
that-
but literally, so we're supposed to meet at Hard Rock Cafe in Manchester. I get there. I'm like, he's like, yeah, order me a beer, boy. I say, sweet. I'm sitting there with 2 fucking drafts, bro, waiting for this oak. I call him, he says, hey, bro, I'm not gonna make it. I'm like, what the fuck you mean you're not gonna make it, blood? I've been sitting at 20 minutes. This oak, okay, so anyway, I missioned to his place.
Did you drink his
to where he
beer then?
was.
That's what I want
Yeah, I
to know.
fucking
Hey,
did.
very good.
Of course I did. So I get there and it's a bunch of these salesmen and
Manchester
it was, bro, like Manx, bro. Like we got educated on the lingo. Every single musician that came from Manchester. No, trust me, I heard about it. Led Zeppelin, that album was made in Manchester, bro. Like, but taking it back a little bit, the sales part of things. I've always had the mindset. Well, always since I've had the shop. That sales is the backbone of any business. At the end of the day, it comes down to sales. Whether it's you with commercial repairs and components striking a big deal that is going to be a recurring customer, to you selling a site that you're going to go and extract honeys, to me selling a bottle of vape or selling a coffee.
before you
Yeah,
get into
sales,
before they get into chatting, bro. Again, with the stuff I'm studying with principles of selling, with these high performance salesmen, that's what they talk about. It's like you need to know like your own emotions and your own abilities in the way that like. So the example they give is like a lady a new couple, newly engaged couple, walk into a jewelry shop wanting to buy a ring. So the person that's selling them the ring has an option to immediately fall for the bride's dream ring, the fat one that costs the most, or they can see the couple. She can give them some. Okay, I understand. Let's talk a bit about like what your plans are after the wedding. So you can talk about no, not just that. They can talk about the honeymoon. So you can kind of put yourself in where they are financially. Because let's say they just get an engagement, get back to work. All right, they're not that.
What are the chances of that? You know, I mean, I get you.
They're going to go on honeymoon. They're going to have a month's break, whatever. So they set. So you can put yourself in a place where you can find the right ring for them, where you can explain like to the bride and the husband. Because the husband can be like, if you go too hard, the husband can be like, I'll be back later. You lose the sale.
Yeah, 100%.
Or you explain to the bride, say, why don't you go for this ring that the husband can afford now? Come back later. You can trade it in, pay the excess. You can get a new ring, and that way the couple sees you as someone they can trust.
Understand.
And in that example, that couple goes back and refers every other friend they know to you. So you not only make one sale, where it might be a little bit less than you could have. It's a sale that you've made once, and they keep referring friends. They'll come back.
It's such a difficult thing to teach, bro, because there's so many different tactics. You know, I mean, something like that. I think a lot of people tend to play on people's on their fears. You know what I mean? And that kind of thing. That's the opposite perspective. You know what I mean? Like someone comes in here and tells you about insurance. This happened to me the other day. I met with a couple of financial advisors. And the oak said to me, if you got into a car accident or in a wheelchair, would your shop be able to run? And I said, fuck you, don't put that evil on me. I said, fuck you, bro. If I did, it fucking would. I got upset about it because I understand that, that's what he's trying to get at me. Yeah. And you flip the coin, because as much as there's the bad part of your emotion, there's also the good part. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And if I play exactly, and I think again coming back to like stigmas as we were talking, I think there's a stigma on me at subject A and subject B. Subject A is selling a product to subject B. There's a stigma of sales as being evil. I'm going to cram this down your throat, 100%. Buy or die. Yeah. There's that stigma about it, and I want to know from because I know your companies, especially yours, because there's that environmental section of it within the beekeeping, within BMS environmental, is there's morals and ethics that are very strong.
Well, look, let me go back to my like we spoke about Manchester. So matriculated aside, you know what? Fuck, I want to have a gap year. I'm going to go to the UK. And I'm going to go and work in an oil company. And it's very simple. You don't get a lot of training. They give you a basic synopsis. Here's a brochure. Read the fucking brochure. There's a phone. Go sit in the corner. Make 50 calls a day. Enjoy. And that's how you learn. Because
I mean, at the same time,
or you drown.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. I'd rather get chucked in the deep end and then chuck it. But that's why you're 100%. Successful today though, bro. Because you've learned those tactics, bro.
But, Reese is saying now about the textbook stuff, and I wish he was here now to get me an opposing view on it. You can read a textbook, or you can pick up the phone and start dialing.
There we go.
But let me tell you, it sounds really stupid and it sounds like it's very slangy, and they used this a lot in the office that I was in. But having trained my own sales team at my company now, BMS Environmental, the main point that I drive home to them is, the more shit you throw at the wall, the more sticks.
100%. Bro.
Again, bro, I have a different mindset in terms of sales, bro.
Okay, it's a good point.
I don't think he washed his hands because he came back reading.
I'm gonna call you out, bro.
Reese, it's COVID, bro.
I didn't piss on my hands.
That's COVID in that model.
Who all cleans their hands after they piss?
I do.
Everyone, you dirty bastard.
Shane didn't say fuck all. I know he doesn't. Don't lie to me, Greg. Greg, look at me in the eyes and tell me you fucking wash your hands.
Every time I wash my hands.
Bullshit. Why are you calling out?
Anyway.
You're Reese, you missed out.
I feel weird touching my mouth.
Anyway.
okay, let's get back to serious talk.
Yeah. We were saying, in the UK, I was, thrown in a corner.
Close to the mic, bro. I don't think anyone can fucking hear you.
I'll speak a bit. So in the UK, you're thrown in a corner. You're given a data sheet. You're given a brochure on the fucking products. You know 10% more than your customer does. And they said 50 calls a day. Go. If you don't swim, you drown. End of story. So having started the company BMS Environmental now, the good partner of mine, Andy, who Jared's met. Andy
Green.
I've got to train my own sales team now. I've got to teach them what to do. And what I was saying was, you've been quoting a lot of the stuff you're learning now in theory, like all the stuff you're reading in your textbook.
I'll bring it back as well.
The main thing that I drill home to my own sales team is the more shit you throw against the wall, the more sticks.
Yeah.
What that means, and it's not throwing shit. It's I've taught you and I've trained you.
Fucking monkey business.
So when I say I've trained my team. I've given you a basic idea of the product.
But you need to.
I've given you the building blocks.
Yeah.
How big do you want to build your fucking house?
Yeah.
If you pick up the phone 50 times a day, you will be more successful than the guy who picks it up 10 times a day.
100%.
It's a numbers game.
It's a numbers game.
But let me just say, so like studying where I am and like the old boys that you meet and stuff, like you chat to them and they'd say like, do your homework and like get through whatever. But a lot of the oaks that I've chatted to that have graduated and have jobs where I'm trying to get jobs will tell you, bro, finish college, because a lot of that shit won't matter to you, because you're going to learn most of what you're doing at your job
100%.
at the job.
100%.
The only thing that piece of paper is getting me is the step into the job.
Yeah.
Then I learn, so I can study all this stuff, I can learn the principles of this and that and this, but I'll only really know that, because I'm not going to walk into a job and alright, I can do everything that I'm meant to.
Because you've got no experience.
I'm going to learn everything I need to at the job. So that's what I stick by. You can tell them everything you know and like give them a foundation, but after that, it's up to them to figure out what works for them, what they do, how they can work with customers.
I think that's Reese. That's a brilliant closing point. Guys, how are the flavors? What do you think of this kiwi lychee? Honestly, Oaks, I'm fucking loving it. I'm fucking loving this kiwi lychee.
Flavor tonight, bro.
Let's hear it, Greg.
Dude,
give us a rating out of 10.
Bro, for me, this is a 10, bro. Dude, this is so good. I cannot stop putting this thing. It's so
just for
nice,
some
bro.
perspective, in our cutscene, Greg fucking finished a whole tank of this. He had to refill before we started recording this.
This is so good, bro. I'm really enjoying this, bro. This kiwi lychee.
Happy to hear that.
Bro.
I'm happy to hear that.
Kiwi lychee is a solid, bro.
So, from my experience with lychee flavors, they often, when they're mixed with something else, they're not...
And a bit of an undertone.
Yeah, it's a bit of an undertone. But you can full on taste lychee here. So, I mean,
it's more of a lychee kiwi than a kiwi lychee. You know what I mean? And I went for that. And that, I made sure the lychee was more prominent than the kiwi because of what you said to me. Because Tabo did give me a lot. You guys know, Tabo gave me a lot of advice and a lot of help in terms of the flavors and what I bought and what I stocked from the beginning. And something exactly, and something that stuck with me is that there's certain flavors that are very undertone, and kiwi was the main thing. And I've noticed that. Sorry, lychee was the main thing, and I've noticed that there's a lychee, there's a black lychee there, and it's a black currant and a lychee, and
it tastes black currant.
exactly the lychee's there, but you need to be thinking about it, bro. It's a mind over matter thing, like kiwi. I mean, lychee.
I gotta say, for my rating out of 10, right, I have to point blank give you a 10 out of 10, simply because the fact that you made the lychee more prominent when it often gets pulled under by every other flavor. You are now a magician in my eyes. So,
thank you, sir.
10 out of 10, fucking brilliant.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
100%. For me, though, I might go opposite. Like, it might sound weird, like kiwi lychee. Like, for me, I was expecting kiwi.
But you did say before this that you're not a fan of lychee.
I didn't really smoke it. Like, I enjoy lychees and I enjoy kiwi and like all that. But for me, I was expecting kiwi, and like the whole time, for some reason, obviously, like there's no reason for me to expect it. But all the hype behind kiwi lychee, like I was expecting a lot more, and I don't want to be harsh, but I was expecting a lot more behind this flavor. It's nice, but for me, like, hey, this isn't for me. I'm gonna give us like a 4 out of 10.
So
this is where I would debate with you, bro. I really dig this flavor.
I would take berries over this.
No way, I'll take this flavor 100%.
For me personally, and I think it's only because I was expecting kiwis more than lychee. Because I can taste lychee, but for me, berries takes this.
Shane?
Yeah, look, I mean, I'll disagree with Tabo a little bit because I think it's like when you mix flavors, it's very tough because you can't really taste both of them. You know, something's always overpowering, and you say the lychee is a bit more prominent.
Yeah.
I don't know if you said it's more overpowering.
You can definitely
But
taste
I
lychee
think-
more than kiwi. Yeah.
I think, as opposed to tasting the flavors individually in this mix, I can taste them both equally. And I've said it from the beginning, I'm a massive fruit fan. So this is definitely up my fucking alley. And I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I was happy to hear that. Yeah, so like I said, you know, I'm a big fan of lychee in general. The flavor, the fucking juice, you know, that stuff that
I
make
love
it all.
lychee, bro.
I love lychee flavor, and again, that's why I made it a bit more prominent than the kiwi. And again, with the undertone flavors, I kind of mentioned everything that went into this in the beginning. But honestly, this is my favorite flavor that I've tasted today.
Second.
Yeah, I'll listen
So-
second that one.
So I'm also unbiased. I'm gonna give it a 9. Biased, I'm gonna give it a 10. I'm gonna give it a 10. But you know, I can't say
so
that.
like 9.5 then, eh?
No.
Average makes it like an 8 out of
Reese brought the average down, so we'll call it an 8. We'll call it an 8 out of 10. So guys, I'm happy. Some
It's
of us
winning.
enjoyed it.
It's winning. It's winning.
Look,
Some of us
I don't hate the flavor, but the flavor's
It's-
not for me. I'm
yeah, I
not
get
gonna
you.
lie to I was expecting.
I appreciate
Just
it.
from what I've seen from like the competition and all the
Didn't I say in the beginning that he was gonna say all the flavors?
Just after all the hype behind the flavor, I was expecting a lot more.
Fair enough.
Just to bring us all back, right? You saw the hype about it and you expected more. Just like when they legalized weed like Wakaberry.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
fucking bring
He's
it back.
going
bro.
back.
Okay, wait, but
Yes,
pause on that. No one's trying out weed now. Everyone's already done weed. Everyone likes
You've
it.
never eaten a
So-
lychee.
I love lychee. I love lychee drinks. I just don't enjoy this flavor. That's why I love lychee as a fruit, as a
So we're
drink.
ganging
as
up
Reese,
everything else.
besides what they're saying, thank you for that, bro. I appreciate it.
I-
Didn't live up
the
to.
flavor's not for me. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just not for me. I don't
Cool.
trust the flavor.
Oaks,
I was expecting it.
Oaks, let's wrap this up. Let's fill up the vapes and then we see what the next flavor beholds.
As Philip, hashtag load your vape.
Load your vape.
Hashtag load your
Cheers.
vape.
Hey!
Cool, Reese.
And we're back. The songs we just listened to, you know, very good artists
back
in
to
my opinion.
38.2
You know.
radio
Fuck
station.
you. So the first song was Brain Damage by Pink Floyd, and the second one was One Way Glass by Manfred Mann. Third quarter, chapter 3, something along those lines.
Tremendous. Tremendous.
Manfred Mann is a very strange artist. You know, he so it's Manfred Mann quarter 3 or third quarter or something along those fucking lines, whatever it is. He then made another band, just him, called Manfred Mann Earth Project, where he remade his own songs.
With the earthy vibe.
Just a different. Well, essentially, it's a bit more acoustic.
idea to it.
It's a bit more
Yeah,
acoustic.
exactly. Why?
No,
Why?
I don't know.
Going through some shit.
It was two very good songs and renditions of them. I mean, they're both brilliant. The original's better, not gonna lie, but you know I schmuck my originals.
No, but actually, on that point, you know.
Just time my quick Reese, don't you want to turn that camera a little bit straight. There we go, sweet.
A
Anyway,
little more, is it right?
no, that's sweet. A little bit more. Cool.
Give Jared a bit of time on that.
Yeah,
Let's
you
go. No, let's go.
So about artists like remaking their own songs, dude. So I fucking love Evils Fantastic.
Oh, by the way, sorry. Important factor: we are busy smoking kiwi lychee. No, I'm
Yay.
lying. It's lemon lime.
Yay.
Lemon
Lemon
lime.
lime.
I haven't had a pull.
Lemon
Lemon
lime.
lime. Lemon lime. We
how
got
Reese is gonna vote. Fucking juggling the gun.
Let's go. So about remaking songs and that.
So Evils Fantastic is my favorite South African band. And my friend Petrus, he brewed, like I would like to think that I'm a super fan. By the way, Evils Fantastic, your website's been down for like a while. I'm trying to buy a t-shirt.
Give us what we want.
So he's like the ultimate fan. He knows all of the songs.
Yeah.
And they remade a few of the old songs in a recent new album, I think. I'm not sure about the dynamics of it, but remixes of the old songs.
Yeah.
And I said to him, like, look, I think there's like one where I'm like super into, and the rest of them I'm like, I kind of like the originals. And he was saying how you should allow a band to evolve, and they're allowed to change their style and grow bigger. But I'm kind of like, bro, why remake your own songs? I can understand remix, but
Especially
why
when it's
go-
good. Yeah,
Make a new song.
Yeah,
If you have a new idea, make a new song. Why
Good
remake?
game.
I've
like a
always
good
said.
movie.
I've always said. Influence over recreation.
Bro, good example, Jumanji. For me, the original Jumanji, classic. They should not have remade another one. As good as
don't
the other
know,
ones
bro.
were,
I don't know.
I didn't
I
think
disagree.
they should
Listen, I'll
have
disagree.
left
I'm with Shane on
Jumanji.
this.
that case,
They should have left Jumanji where
It's
it
It's
was.
the characters they put into it, though.
Yeah.
bro.
So we all agree
I'm with
that
Shane on
whilst
this
the
one.
first one's fantastic, the second one's shit.
No ways.
Okay. Maybe the remake.
It's a good sequel. It's a good sequel.
Maybe the remake was good, but I don't agree with the Jumanji 2.
Did you ever watch Zathura?
Yeah.
Bruh,
Nah,
bruh, if they
bruh.
ever remake that, no, you see, like that's the
That
thing. You leave
was
alone.
there was
a
some
remake of
untouchables.
Jumanji.
What?
It wasn't a remake. It was adapted from. type of thing.
It was a sequel.
Inspired by.
Yeah, inspired, but it wasn't a remake necessarily.
That
It
was
didn't have the name
just
Jumanji.
to dodge copyright laws,
Yes,
bro. Let's be
but it was
honest.
still an original, still good.
But
But for
did
me,
you-
I didn't like as good as maybe the first one was. The second one was a
Yeah,
stretch.
no.
I didn't agree with.
Dude,
They should have just left it with where they had it.
Chris Rock, bro. Oh, bro, you joking? That like in any movie is
he's
just
funny, but like
funny,
they
bro.
just believe some
Dude, him
things
and
just need to be
Dwayne,
left alone.
Johnson,
like
bro,
Happy
brilliant.
Gilmore,
And the Lion
they
King.
can't remake
No,
Happy
you
Gilmore.
can't,
You
dude.
can't. You see that type of thing.
And
Jumanji, I feel was
The
that
Lion
type
King.
of movie.
Okay, fair game.
Don't touch the Lion King. Don't
Leave it,
fucking
yeah.
touch the Lion King.
I'll agree with you on that one.
Have you guys seen the new?
Yes, and it's shit.
I haven't seen it, bro.
No, it's not the same. I'll agree
It's
with
not the
Shane
same.
on that
It's
one.
not bad. It's good, but it's not.
movie.
So you see, like how
It's
we all
not the
grew up
same,
watching
bro.
Lion King animated. It's
Yeah.
not something like you can grow up saying like, oh, I loved Lion King. It was a show I grew up
I've
on.
heard some
Yeah.
shit about like how Disney will remake their movies every 20 years so that the next generation can grow up with the same.
That was
stuff.
actually in Walt
Yeah.
Disney's will.
Is it?
So he
Okay.
said I think it's either 10 or 50, 10 or 20 years, one of the two. But
That's
in
what he
his
wanted.
in his will was to remake every
So,
movie.
I got-
Bro,
So
let's not even get into the
every
details
generation.
about
I
Walt
got
Disney
like
though.
I
It's a rabbit hole by itself.
when I was little, I had a like a fact book of like all of the Disney stories, like all like like
Yeah, I had like a
Lion King.
collection of them. Yeah.
Yeah, so like, okay, look, I know like it's super basic, but I hope your parents did this because my parents love me. My mom or my dad would like read to me every night before bed when I was like very, very little. And it always came out of the same storybook. So before I watched the movies, I got the
Knew,
stories.
yeah.
So when I watched like Tarzan, Cinderella,
It was spoiled a bit.
What's that
It just
one?
kind of like
Beauty
took
and
your
the Beast.
imagination
You're
into like a
privileged.
video.
You're privileged. You're privileged.
You don't know my life. I grew up in the streets.
Go up on the street.
Shady Mondays.
To watch Shady Mondays. So to watch these things in like these cartoon forms and like I don't want to call it basic, but like cartoons have evolved. Like the
Yeah,
stuff that we
100%.
see now is
They're
not
all
the
shit.
same.
It's
But everyone like
animated's
likes it.
almost taken another like definition.
But it-
Animated's
yeah.
that
It
live
doesn't
action
feel like.
thing.
Can I tell you why that fucking happened? Can I tell you why animation became so? Did you guys know that Steve Jobs actually worked at Pixar for a while?
I don't know.
I did not know that. I'll agree.
I read
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
This is a rabbit hole we're gonna
Hey,
jump
yo,
into.
you learn
That's
something
how-
new every day, bro.
Yeah, so I mean, he was still busy with Apple at the time, but he he got moved in. I'm trying to think of the oak's name. He started Pixar, but it doesn't matter. That's the reason. If I open a Photoshop document now and make something happen, I can save it as a Pixar document.
Because
Steve Jobs made it a file format.
I didn't know that.
And it became.
That's crazy, bro.
He brought that company culture to Pixar.
And Disney and.
Well, anyways, to conclude my point, what I want to say was like with those classics and like the live action remake, because there was a phase where we were doing live action
Everything that was good, they wanted to try and remake in a newer sense.
And it was not better. bro.
Jungle Book for me.
Keep in
See,
mind.
but that's
keep in mind.
But that's what
If
I'm trying
you're
to say
10
about
years
the
old and
songs.
you've never seen the
No,
original
but
Lion
so
100%,
I'm reaching
100%.
that point now is to say like, for me personally, I haven't seen the Lion King remake. Because
You don't want to see it.
You don't
seeing
know
Mufasa die, it was painful enough.
Yeah, I know it's enough, yeah.
It's still a sore topic. I don't
You
see
never
it.
seen time
But
and
at
sing
the
it
same
song,
time, like
bro.
when I watched the trailer for it, and I was just like, fuck this. This is not going to be like a.
And also,
But it's
that's
not for
true.
me. It's let the next generation enjoy it like that. Let that be that there. Because I heard it was
Okay,
great.
let's move on from movies. We said we're gonna say it before. I wanted to speak to you, Shane, in particular, about the environmental aspect of bee culture and BMS environmental. It's very environmentally
Sustainable.
orientated. It's sustainable, and I appeal to that quite a bit because everything in this coffee shop.
As far
From the
as you can.
straws, for fuck's sake.
the fucking
As
straws.
far as you can.
You
As
guys
far
wouldn't
as you
understand how many complaints I got about the paper straws. Your milkshakes are tremendous, but
Mate,
these straws.
My family's been a
these
part of
straws-
most of those
Oh yeah.
complaints, I know for
Oh
a
yeah.
fact,
So
I'm part of those
Yes,
fucking complaints, bro.
That shit says they are.
I've moved to the plant-based fucking lot, but that's besides the
I
point.
don't know if I care enough about the turtles to fuck up my milkshake.
Yeah, bro. I don't want to have to
think
throw my
about
straw
turtle
away
again,
to drink
bro.
some,
But
but
no. I for the
We
record,
do care,
I
we
care
do
about
care.
the turtles. I care a lot.
Yeah.
The milkshake is terrible.
Don't
but
you
I'm
care about the
glad
fucking
to hear
bees?
about it.
As Jared was saying.
Well,
That's
you
the thing,
said
bro.
82% is all pollinated by
Pollinated
bees. Mate, I only need 18.
It's-
I think the
18 will make me
easy,
survive.
man.
Yeah. But yeah, no, true.
You're saying.
Yeah, so I mean, everything, nothing here in the shop is kind of single use. From these cups, they look plastic, but they're all plant-based. All my stuff is plant-based. I'm doing my part in that sense. And I'm not one of those. I'm not a vegan. I'm not gonna go hug a tree, but I'm a little bit of a hippie, but I'm not that much of a fucking hippie. So,
Jared, like
So, I mean,
so it's where
it's-
you can help out,
exactly,
it's where
it's
are
my
gonna help
part.
out, which is good.
Yes, I'm making a small impact, but it's better than making a big detrimental.
But it's the
impact.
mindset.
Fair game, bro. Fair
Does that
game.
make sense?
Yeah.
So that's why I like your companies. I fucking love them, bro. Bee culture. Even though I'm allergic to bees, one of those things would kill me in a heartbeat, bro. And you put me in that situation one time. I'm still not happy about that. But yeah, I want to hear tell us about BMS Environmental and how that came about.
We
and-
also, I kind of want to know a
Yeah,
lot more
fair
than we
game.
just asked.
Yeah,
but
100%.
Okay, so-
100%.
Let me start with bee culture. Bee culture is all about saving bees. There's a rapid decline in the world. We all know this. We see this every day.
Yeah,
What are we
yeah,
doing about
100%.
it?
Nothing.
So-
nothing.
My thing
I feel
is,
like it's also something everyone wants to do something, but
but you can't.
they don't know how.
100%.
They don't know how. You know what I mean? It's
Bee culture.
Yeah, but that's why you
Everyone-
have to educate you.
Exactly.
You have to educate you.
So not only do we do the educational seminars, we do the safe and professional extractions. Too many people kill bees because they're a nuisance. They're seen as a pest, but they're
They
pollinators.
don't even realize how important it is.
So by
But,
doing the professional rehiring, we give people the opportunity to employ professional DAF registered beekeepers. So DAF is the Department of Agriculture, Fishing and fucking Forestry.
All that, man. Yeah.
Sorry to interject for one hot second, bro. I was just thinking in my head, weren't bees voted the most important creatures in the
Yeah,
world? That
yeah.
Bro, if we lose,
Yeah.
apparently if we lose bees today,
We
in
fuck,
like
yeah.
5 years we lose.
I think it's a lot less than that. I think it's 5 months. If I'm not
So
mistaken.
what I want to
I
ask
think
you
it's
was,
5 months.
Yeah.
honestly, all of you, we were chatting earlier about okay, so the importance of legalizing this, criminalizing that type
Yeah.
of thing. What would you guys wager is more important? Making it a criminal offense to kill a bee or legalizing weed?
I think it's two very
Bees,
different
bro.
things.
Yeah.
No.
It's
Let's
not-
not argue semantics here. Give it to me point blank. From
So-
an uneducated
Okay, well,
perspective.
I think it's
Okay,
Obviously
you
saving
think
bees.
Uneducated.
uneducated.
go
I
for
would
it,
prefer
go
to
for
leak.
it.
No.
No, but uneducated oaks will go weed because they don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
But if you think educated, let's be real here.
I don't think we know enough.
Exactly what he says about
Yes,
bees. That's what
exactly.
this guy's
But
here to
Exactly.
how
educate
much,
you.
Exactly.
He's
how
here
much
to
of your
educate
fucking
you.
weed is pollinated by
100%. There we
but that's
go.
what
But
Greg's
that's
saying.
what I'm
So
trying to say,
uneducated-
bro. Oaks that are uneducated will think like that.
Yes.
Oaks that are a little bit more educated and are willing to listen to what you have to say. Or actually sit back.
Guys, you're
okay,
looking at this
listen.
from a very ideological point of view.
Yeah.
Okay.
How the fuck are you gonna monitor me standing on a bee in my own house, bro?
No,
Well,
no,
if
no,
we
no,
all
no.
assume that
No.
the COVID vaccine comes with a microchip, we all think the government
Look,
is one.
yeah.
Then we'll
Look,
look at
yeah.
Oh wait, so I'll learn to aim the bee in my stride.
Jared,
I'm just walking to the
So
bathroom.
how I'm seeing this is like Greg said, uneducated weed, but you don't realize that you need bees to
Yeah,
fill the weed.
100%, dude.
But what? Not one bee. Okay, obviously, step on one bee is going to make a difference.
No.
It's talking about like the hive. You can't lose hives at a time.
Yeah.
Those are important.
Yeah.
The
Yes.
hives are important. One bee. Obviously it hurts, but it's not gonna make a difference.
And
to
that's-
try and
really-
regulate the fact that bees.
But
So
the
if you
mindset
have a
makes it
bee,
Yeah,
hive
there we
in
go.
your-
Mindset.
6.5 people say this won't make a difference. It's just me.
Exactly. It's like, you say earlier, your straws, you think it doesn't make a big difference.
It does
It's
make
the
a
mindset.
difference.
If you've got every coffee shop in the fucking world thinking like you do about
Just
your
in South
mindset.
Africa, think about just in South Africa, every coffee
Exactly.
shop. We
It
don't
makes a
imagine how
difference.
much
Makes a fucking
big of a difference. that is.
100%.
Yeah.
But
It
going-
makes a
saying,
difference.
if everyone's doing 1%, eventually we get to 100.
Exactly.
100%.
But going back to what you're saying, so bee culture, we want to save bees, we're going to do that through education. So we do a lot of live seminars as Jared risked his life to be done successfully. That's what we do.
That happened.
And we're going to do that by educating people. By sitting people down and saying, and educate them.
This is how
There you go, but that's how you have to do it. You have to
Yeah.
educate people first
People
before
need
they
to know what
understand
Yeah.
what you're doing. You have to educate people.
Yeah.
But
So,
then-
yeah.
No, actually, I don't want to cut you off.
So, and then
Yeah.
moving on to obviously BMS Environmental. So, BMS Environmental is a company that offers both sides of the spectrum with regards to energy. So, I'm an oil specialist through and through. I do a lot of work with fuel, gas oil, DERV, petrol, you name it. If it's got anything to do with oil and it burns in an engine, I'm there. That's what I do. But the reason my partner and I, Andy Green, left, you might have to edit that name out for legal
Is
reasons.
there a little beep beep? But yeah.
I was
They
legally
call
advised
themselves-
to edit that name out.
They called themselves an environmental company.
But
And
that's
myself
how
and
environmental
my partner,
are they?
so I'm getting onto that. All they did was oil.
That's not
And from a moral point of view, my manager and my partner in my new business and I, we struggled with that. So what BMS Environmental offers, and there is a fucking brilliant slogan that we've coined, which I can't for the life of me think of, but we offer a full round services in, not only can we look after your oil services and look after your fuel now, we can help you move away from a reliance on fossil fuels to a more renewable and sustainable alternative.
It's almost
Yeah,
the
yeah.
equivalent to, I wouldn't say this, but to an uneducated person or someone who isn't too knowledgeable
Too well
about
known
it.
about
It's the
it.
equivalent of saying plugging your entire house into an electrical box or moving to solar power.
yeah.
I feel like that's a good
100%.
yeah.
So what we're doing now is not only are we offering the oil services, because that's what gets us our clients, but
it's
we've got
helping
those
them.
clients,
Yeah.
and we can say to them, look, you've got a generator there that's burning diesel. I can put a solar system in there, a battery system in there that's going to take you off your reliance on diesel. Not only that, I've got an electric vehicle. Fun fact: 76% of people in Europe, their next car will be an electric vehicle. 76%. That's
You
the
think it'll
thing.
make you a fucking mind reader? You said it will be the next vehicle. Did you ask them?
No,
But-
but even when
Think about how many
I was in the
companies are trying
UK,
to
so
move to that.
in the UK, if I'm not mistaken, you get taxed for using petrol. There's extra. You pay more for a car. For diesel, you have to pay an extra.
Massive.
And can I
But
just
that's
massive.
why everyone has to, that they are
It's
forced
almost-
to
it's
use
almost forced
transport
upon.
services.
Can I build on
You're
what Nati's
forced to
done?
use it, bro.
So on my sales class that I'm doing, it's about ethics and like salesperson or whatever.
Exactly.
So how you've moved from where you were, the company you're at, to the company you're starting, about trying to be more ethical. That's so as much as a salesperson wants to make money and do what they can to benefit themselves, at a certain point, the best salesperson won't just look at themselves and making money. It's the best they can do. They have what's it called?
Can I say-
Corporate
can I say-
responsibility.
That's
Corporate
important.
responsibility.
Yeah,
That's
that's
the exact
it's
way. That's the
important
exact
your
phrase.
horizon.
You have to not only look at the money you're making, but the responsibility you have to the people
Can I
around
say one
you,
thing?
and that's exactly what you're
Going back to the sales and everything like that.
corporate
If you look after your customer,
I'll look after you.
they will look after you.
It's what it's yeah.
So my one boss, Dylan Heredis, love this man. Gotta plug his name in there because he's fucking fantastic in everything he does. Very attractive man. Good hairdresser.
We started with
Fruity. Say that.
Now, first of all, I
Cut that
I don't want to riot because we're not going to beat the LGBTQ. But Tabo, you started to sound very gay. Right?
We love everyone, but hey,
Anyways,
talk to us. Let's
no,
talk to
bro,
us.
why can't
I was legally advised not to say that.
No, because you haven't said how good looking none of us are, so fuck you.
You
Bloody
know what?
wasp
Some of us are also
My
good,
mother
you know
told
what
me
I
not to lie, bro. But anyways, no, bro, I'm gonna plug
That
the
is
man
hurtful. I
because
actually feel like
Anyway.
yeah, lovely man, and his wife is 10 times more lovely, the sweetest person ever.
Is she hot?
Cut scene.
Fuck sakes, we
Yeah,
laugh.
she's a lovely woman, full stop.
What do you think you meant by 10 times nicer?
Fuck, what was I gonna say now?
I've not ever.
Yeah, Mr. Heredis, you're chatting about him, what he's done for you.
Mr. Heredis. Anyways, like, now all I can remember was the second point is never trust a gypsy. I don't know why. He just always
Never trust a gypsy.
Never trust a gypsy.
That's what's so much stinky blinded.
Was he getting too cozy, bro? I love it though, love it.
Oh, I remember. So,
Tabo, we laugh, bro. Don't say
about,
that shit.
About business, he was saying a customer that has a good experience might tell 3 people about their good experience, but a person who has a bad experience in your shop will tell 9 people.
Tell everyone.
So,
100%.
Yeah, you can't help everyone,
Very
but
true.
make sure that when they leave your place of business, they're not disgruntled, dissatisfied. It's maybe you won't get a shout out, but make sure that they don't have a reason to tell everyone that they know that you're a piece of shit.
I've seen that with B culture.
Yeah,
As-
and another thing I wanted to ask you was, so earlier you were saying you know everything about fuel, right? And you're into the B thing. So is the fuel your bread and butter, and then the B thing is what you would like?
Look,
More of like a hobby.
it's
You
quite
enjoy
weird
doing.
because BMS Environmental. So the reason, the one reason that we left Crown, well, that I left, was because I had to come back to South Africa to study, right? BMS Environmental was formed. My boss and I having a random catch up, and literally both of us saying, "Fuck." You know when you're having a
We could
conversation
do this.
with your friend,
We
we
could do
could
this,
fucking
yeah.
do this.
I built a bunch of software for you in that, okay?
Yeah, but that was for Change for Climate.
Yeah, I'll change for
That was
climate.
such an awesome app that Jared and I discussed about putting an app and giving people a platform because you know climate change is happening. You know.
Everyone knows.
I don't believe in-
You guys
What the
say
fuck
it's
are you doing
happening.
about
I don't
it?
believe in global
Hold on,
warming.
let's hear this.
No
Wait,
one's
I want to.
doing- no one is doing
Can I just
anything
finish?
about
Can I
it.
just finish?
Straight up.
It's that same thing. You know it's a problem, but what fucking platform
What
do
are
you
you
have to
doing?
fix it?
Yeah.
Change for Climate.
And
was
can I
like-
It comes back to what I said earlier,
Yeah.
is that everyone would like to help and make a difference, but no one necessarily knows how.
Yeah, no one puts that step. No one
Exactly.
like takes that extra step. 100.
like,
And it all
Reagan
goes
said.
back to exactly what you're saying. You do something, but what are you actually doing?
Yeah.
So whilst I was
make a
asking was
difference.
like, is fuel the bread and butter, and then the B thing is what you would like to eventually be your main thing.
So
it's like Reagan said, like ask. I think it was Reagan. Ask not what your country can do for you, but
ask
what
what
you
you
can
can
do
do for your country.
Yeah, so it's like we
That's
all
what
should-
your country can do for
Have
you.
you ever seen that? Have you ever seen that video? Ronald Reagan is a
That's
fucking.
is her name.
Ronald
You
Reagan is
take
a
that
fucking gangster, bro. I watched the video. He's doing his speech, and actually,
And the balloon
it was an attempted assassination
Like, miss
attempt,
me.
and he was like, "Miss
Yeah,
me,
yeah.
you have gunshot,
I
miss
saw
me."
that. Just
That's
quickly
a fun
before we completely flip topics, for you to like the fact that you're doing your little bit and like at the same time as you're doing a little bit for the world and stuff, it's so lucky that you guys can do what you enjoy and like still make a little
At the
bit
same
from
time,
it. As
you
much
know.
as like you don't want to be selfish,
Don't-
it's still lucky to still do what you
Worst
enjoy
case
and-
scenario, I'm not being a detriment.
Yes.
If you
Yeah.
do what you love, you will
Yeah.
be successful.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
What
Okay,
if you
Oaks.
have crime?
Oaks, before we get Machete Mondays. Okay, Oaks, I want to wrap this one up. What do we think of the lemon lime?
Yeah, no,
So-
listen, eh.
Greg, you up first. What?
Wait, we went this way last time. We go this way.
Yeah, let's
Okay,
get
so
started, let's get
I'm gonna
started.
sort of. So this flavor, because of the flavor nature, it's a lot colder. You know, lemon is you pick up more of the ice. It's the same
Yeah.
concentrate of menthol, but it seems a bit colder. You know, you get that kind of sensation. I really enjoy this flavor myself, to be honest, and I'm not a big fan of ice either. You know, I like my plain fruits. I think we've gotten to this point. I like my plain fruits. This one on ice with the colder sensation, I dig it. See, to me, it's an everyday vape, summertime, all day I can smoke it. I'm going to give this an 8. I'm going to give this one an 8.
Okay, only thing I can compare it to actually is, and before I say this, I love fucking jelly tots.
Fucking amen to that, bro. Yeah. Jelly tots, bro. Talk to me dirty, bro.
This video is not sponsored by jelly tots. That yellow fucking jelly tot that you eat,
Bro, stop it.
fucking hits the spot every time.
You know,
That is what this tastes like.
Hey, what about the red jelly top, bro? That's not
No,
alcohol.
yellow.
Carry
I'm
on.
gonna give this 10 out of 10. My favorite one of the whole night.
I'm gonna have
Happy to hear
to.
that.
I'm gonna have to. And like, as much as I'm trying to be like, I want to give people a good experience and like let them know what I think, bro. As much as I enjoyed berry and like I had a different experience with the other two, this by far is my favorite flavor. Like, I enjoy this flavor. This would be my all day flavor. Berry, my kind of taste every now and again. I give this 9, 10 out of 10, bro. This is my favorite by far.
Cool. Happy to hear that.
I think that this flavor, it reminds me of another flavor, but I always loved that flavor. And the fact that you put like a bit of a minty hint to what I traditionally viewed as a dessert flavor, which I didn't think would work.
Yeah.
It does work. It does work.
Yeah.
And it is an all-day flavor, but it's kind of lacquer. It's like there's something about it where it's like I
You
don't
wouldn't
mind
get tired
this.
of it. Like
Yeah.
I don't see myself getting tired of this.
It would be like okay, so of course we'll reach a point where I'm not excited to smoke this flavor, but if I picked it up and
That happens
vaped it,
normally.
And
I wouldn't be mad. I'd
Yeah,
be like, oh
yeah,
yeah,
oh,
this
fuck
one
yeah,
again.
this way, yeah.
So it wouldn't be my first choice, but because of the way that it's all around good, I will give it its first 11 out of 10. In fact, I think it's just brilliant.
I could agree.
Thank you,
with
sir.
that.
Yeah,
I'm-
I'm
very-
This is
I'm
where
serious.
I'm willing to
Let's hear it.
debate.
That's what this is about.
This is not something I really enjoy. Like I'll smoke it.
But you won't buy it.
You're not gonna go out of your way.
Simple as
Same
that.
for me,
Yeah, facts.
With that
Exactly.
custard.
I wouldn't buy it. Like to me, you always don't agree, but I would after smoking that kiwi lychee, I'm just like,
See, I'm the opposite, bro. Kiwi for me is how you view this
Yeah.
film.
exactly. That's what,
Same,
like,
same.
you'll smoke it. It's lacquer. It's got a nice chill, but it's just
Out of
too
10,
much
out of 10,
for me,
honest,
yeah.
out of 10?
5, 5, 6,
5.
bro.
So we got a
6.
5 and 8, a 10. You gave it a 10.
I'll
You get a 10.
10. I'll give it a 9. I'll give it a 9.
9,
Jared,
11.
can I also just say, after this evening, vape flavor is objective. Obviously,
Very
Oh, no,
true.
There's always been someone who doesn't
But
smoke
that's
the
how you know that this isn't like a bullshit session. We're not here like sucking the dick of these flavors. We're
Yeah.
like,
And
we
that's
like some,
that's
we
why I
don't
wanted
like
this.
some.
Like I said this in the beginning, and I'm going to reiterate that. The main point of this is, and most of you guys are here because of that, is because I will get an open and honest opinion about it.
And can I just say for everyone to know, like, you're a vape store owner, you're someone who's worked in the vape store and has been around it, you smoke vape, myself and Greg have been around vape, we don't really know vape. So for
You
us,
guys are kind of getting into
yeah,
it.
for us, all of us, it's like, you have everything, you
such
have an
different
experience, you have an
perspectives.
experienced taste, you have a beginner taste, you have someone who's been around the flavors, who knows what they're talking. So it's not just like we all know what you're talking about, we're just trying to
Yes.
sell your product. We are actually like,
And
bro,
we're
I'm not
honest
gonna lie
about
to
it
you.
as well. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay,
be
cool.
honest about your
Yeah.
Oaks, let's move on to the next flavor. I think this
let's
next
go.
flavor is
Let's go, let's go,
cool.
let's go.
Let's take a bit of a break. We'll get back to this soon, eh? And we are back. That was Led Zeppelin, Over the Hills and Far Away. That was actually the first song I learned on guitar. Not very good at it, but it's the first song I fucking
you learned it. Yeah, I learned the song. You learned it.
So yeah, following that was Follow the Sun by Xavier Wright. You know, a lot of good memories attached to that. Reese will attest. There's a lot of good memories part of that. But yeah, I mean, so we have now loaded our vapes with watermelon pear. I think this is the most versatile flavor out of the range. Reese, don't you want to turn the camera a little bit away from you? There we go, that's cool.
Away from you.
Sorry, it's live. Sorry, we'll take that. Yeah, so I mean, let's smoke these up and see how we feel about this. Okay, so we did a competition. I drew a name from a hat earlier. You guys saw.
Was it my name?
It wasn't your name.
Oh, fucking cunt.
It wasn't your name.
You fucking cunt.
The winner of the competition, which is including this T-shirt, I wanna point that out. You know, this was done by Alberton, or fucking you call him Kevin. This was done by him. Direct to garment, very good quality material. The same one, the same material Duffy's using at the moment. Yeah, so that was done by him. The winner of this competition that was worth $3,000. You know, there was a $400 vape store voucher, $200 coffee shop voucher. Every single one of the flavors, you can have it in Nick Salt or in your normal freebase juice, and a few other things. You know, a couple of vape
Is it Greg on here?
It's not, bro. I told you this already. The winner was at Tyler_Allen. I think that was it. It was somewhere along those lines.
Hey, Tyler!
Well done.
Share some with the rest of us.
Yeah.
Love you, Tyler.
Share it.
Yeah, so drop 38 coffee bar DM and I'll get in touch with you and then we'll go from there.
I'm setting up an Instagram page when I leave here called Tyler_.
This is getting fraudulent.
You know what, guys?
This is getting fraudulent.
Not to get serious, but there was a period in my life where I needed a kidney, and Tyler was there.
Yeah, and he helped you.
Yes, to Tyler.
Thank you, Tyler. You just like feel special on that, bro.
Yeah, man. I mean,
It's a chick.
yo, you just got plugged hard, you know.
You know what? Who's to tell Tyler what he or she can be?
It's 2021.
Fuck you, Shay. Fuck you, Shay.
This man is misogynistic.
We'll ask them.
We're not gonna.
Hey, listen, I don't want to be on it.
I was legally advised to cut this subject now.
The bees are dying
Oh, you sexist, bro.
Okay, anyway. Watermelon pear, 19% of the average concentrates of menthol. You know, I'm very excited to taste this flavor. This is one of, you know, there wasn't as much hype as, so Reese won't be expecting too much. Yeah. But a lot of interest in this.
Yes.
I'm enjoying this. I actually really like this flavor.
We'll get into that. Yeah, so I mean, another announcement I have to make is that, you know, the vape store is moving. I wouldn't say moving because it's still going to be a brick and mortar store, but we're going online. March we'll be shipping to all over South Africa, you know, because my pure reasoning behind this was it's the growth as a company, you know, get to markets that can't necessarily get in the car and drive here. And the second part of it is my analytics have shown that I get a lot of views from Cape Town and Stellenbosch kind of area, and it's an area to go for, you know what I mean? So within the near future, Cape Town and Stellenbosch, you know, we'll drop this off at your door. We'll drop this off at your door.
Quick disclaimer, we are not shipping to Aranya. Simply because we have beef. You seem like lovely people, but we're not
fuck you. Sorry for you.
While we will ship to Aranya if Tyler says we can.
Tyler.
But no, on a more serious note, Jared, I think what the people more want to know is, bro, talk to us about 38. Where did
that's great. Tell us about you. You've hosted this whole thing. Tell us about
and also,
38.
I want to ask, just not about the name 38. Talk to us about these designs, because these aren't just your common designs. Talk to us.
Let me start off here. Before 38 had a name, before it had a logo, there was the one thing I knew that would take place are these sleeves that are currently on the cup. You know, something bright in your face that you can't really miss, and it was a long-term marketing from the beginning. And I just knew it was going to be colourful and loud. Very much, that's
in your face. You're not going to miss it.
Exactly.
That's
so
Jared,
I mean,
exactly. That's
so
Jared.
the artworks on this were kind of done first. I did them all myself. Very, very influenced. There's a lot of things that if I explained to you, you'd see it, but you wouldn't just pick it up. So I mean, the colours and that kind of thing. It was the wallpaper came first. What's behind me here? That was the first in line of the business, and then it kind of grew from there. So the logo on the actual logo of the bull that comes from the wallpaper. It was in color, and I kind of made it black and white and did some outlines and did all those designer things. And that's where the logo came from. The name, it's actually named after a 38 special revolver, which is somewhere in this wallpaper, very colourful. I mean, if you look for it yourself.
Shout out to the
Shout out. Yes.
So I mean, that's
special.
May I interject for a hot second? So I don't know how many of you seen the movie Snatch, right? So
Of course.
There's a dude named Tommy in Snatch, and he tells people that he was named after the Tommy gun, but he was actually named after a ballerina. So he's out there like, 38 fucking revolver. How do we know it's not
because I did it myself.
okay.
That ended that very quickly.
Yeah, there you go.
Because it's authentically me, bro. The wallpaper, I did it. The wallpaper, I did all the
It's your
artworks myself,
idea,
and
you
it
wanted
was
to-
branched
Okay,
from
bro.
there. And the wallpaper was done. It wasn't a name, and then I said, okay, let me fit this into the wallpaper. It was the wallpaper first,
But
and
the
I
thing
stood
is
back
that,
and zoomed out and looked at it.
It's not like in my heart right now. I believe in you, but it's because I can feel that Tyler's telling me to believe.
Ducky Tyler, you're
Jared,
ready.
can I say something else? So you look at this, and it's to the untrained, unartsy eye.
Yeah, the sporty.
It's very
kind of
abstract.
Don't give a shit about abstract
Yeah.
type of thing. Yeah.
It's very abstract, and you know what I like about it? I like the fact that it represents a coffee bar, and it represents a brand. But it's not your everyday. You walk in, and here's the problem
Everything's
with a lot of
plain.
businesses.
Everything's
fucking
plain. Yeah.
You don't stand out. What I like about this
It's
is that
abstract.
it's abstract and it's
There we
different,
go, it's
and that's what
abstract,
this
bro.
coffee shop is. It's a
100%.
different experience.
And can I say one thing about your design?
And Ike wears suits on Thursdays.
On
bro.
Thursdays.
He wears suits on Thursdays,
Damn it.
bro. Yay! Lekker, man.
Can I say one thing about this is what I don't think a lot of people realize is knowing you as long as I've known you, knowing you through your time at Cares and doing your art at school, is a lot of people wouldn't realize is that the art shows I've gone to where that you've displayed art, you've actually displayed art very similar to the design that's on the wall.
It's very
not-
authentic, bro.
So it's not something that
nowhere,
you-
If you went to JP, it would have been better.
No.
There would have been 10 more guns on that
But
wall.
what I'm trying to say is like it could have been something a whole lot more. Everyone's seen it type
Basic
of thing.
plain.
But at the moment, it's something it's not just something you've done in the last year or two. It's something you've done for the last 4 or 5
It's very
years.
personal.
It's something
That's
that's very
It's
you,
personal.
very
It's
Jared
personal.
Service. It's
Yeah.
authentic, bro.
And-
Anything.
and
I'm
that's-
gonna go down like the rabbit hole and shit, but like
Let's do it, bro. We
I want
got
to ask
time.
you. Okay, look, like I don't have a single creative bone in my body, but I can admit, like the aesthetic of the
I don't know, bro. Those braids are creative, eh?
Have you done something illegal?
Have you held a samurai sword, my bro? Have you, bro?
So what I want to say was like in my lack of creativity, even I can admit like there's something cool about the aesthetic of the shop. Like I don't quite understand it, but I like to look at it. Like it's
Yeah.
it's
It
different.
catches your- it
It's
really
eye-catching.
catches your
It's
eye,
eye-catching.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
you guys were saying, Shane was saying how it's not
Run-of-the-mill
plain.
shit.
It's not like a business plan. But then I want to ask. You know how you get there's a color called Vanta Black, like the blackest black.
Yeah,
in
you-
existence.
you-
Yeah.
Yeah, it reflects less light.
Yeah.
And it's just black.
Yeah.
Which some people might argue that's plain.
You can't get darker black. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
yeah.
It's-
So then how do we differentiate between, because that black is eye catching. If you walk past a house, like you're driving down the
And
street,
you couldn't notice a
and
reflection
it's
of light
just
or something.
a black house, the Vanta black house, you'd be like, oh shit, look at that house. So how do we differentiate between, because that is plain, but you'd still see it. So what's the difference between plain and creative?
Can I tell you the
From a
difference?
scientific point of view, the Vanta Black reflects less protons, photons.
Yeah, I know.
That's why they-
Can I also
that's
say-
what he's saying. So
Got the point though.
in the
It's
way,
just
yeah, in the,
It's someone looking at something differently. It's a pioneer. Someone looked at black, the same thing that everyone looks at every single day, and they think, "Fuck, that's black. You can't change it. It is what it is."
it's
Pioneer.
I love this
Someone
reference
came
point.
there.
I
Someone
love
came
this
there.
soon it's going to
And
be
they said, "You know
38.
what?"
Okay, colourful 38 coffee shop.
Someone
That's what,
came there.
I love this
and they
reference
said,
point.
"You know what? That's not plain. I can make that better," and they did. And that's why you're here today speaking about Vanta Black.
Fair game.
Because
100%.
that's what I was like, Shane, that's racist. But no, that's very true. That's so like someone's not going to look at something very colourful and think that's just 38 doing its thing. Someone's going to look at your shop and think, all right, he's just not doing something
different
run of the
take.
mill. He's not just a coffee shop. He's not just a barber shop. It's somewhere different. It's something I can do.
It's
something
something
I can do.
and you feel comfort. Like when you walk in here,
Bro, I don't know how many people have
everything
walked in
just
here. We've
feels
been
so-
having family chats. You've walked in. People
you
have
feel
walked in.
comfort. You
Yeah,
feel
it's-
comfort, Chad. This is
Yeah, it's not
this is the
awkward when
place
you
to
walk
be.
in. How many
This is the coffee shop to
Guys,
be.
How many shops have you walked
This is
into
what it
and you've
is,
been like
bro.
awkward because it's your first time going?
100%, bro.
At the same
100%.
time,
This is the
don't
place you
get
gotta
me
be,
wrong,
bro.
a little bit to everyone, really. Like, I've literally been here and I've seen moms having their kids' haircuts in the barber shop in the front. And then the gents, if you'll say, are having a hub in the back, and it's like, and the doors are there, so like the smoke's not going to the kids.
So
everyone
feels comfortable. It's not a mother thinking I need to go to shop.
Exactly, 100%.
Yeah,
Everyone feels comfortable.
for everyone at 38.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's it.
The mom
I
can walk in
appreciate
and
it,
say,
guys.
my children need a haircut, I'm going to leave them here, I'm going to go get shopping at Checkers, whatever, do their thing,
I'm gonna go have a smoke.
come back, and then I know for a fact
yeah.
they'll have their haircut, they'll wait
So-
And they have a
You know,
milkshake.
I-
They have
get
a
a milkshake.
milkshake. There's a
maybe-
milkshake
Yeah,
And
for
we
the
know the
kids.
milkshake story. Yeah.
Oh, dude, the milkshakes
I
are
may be
deadly.
mistaken,
They are
but I
deadly.
think that, like I said, like it's very colourful, but there's also a lot of geometric shapes, and nothing quite fits.
Yeah, no,
and I
yeah.
think that is the ethos of the shop, where it's like
Nothing's random.
We cater
I don't wanna
to
say
so many
anything's
different
random.
demographics. Where
Yeah.
normally you couldn't have a hub lounge at like a children's kindergarten playground.
100%.
But
at
here it almost
38,
works
we
out.
can cater.
It's
We can-
it's
and-
unorthodox,
and you
but
know-
it works.
Yes,
It's
I thought
unorthodox,
about that from the
but it
beginning
works.
because as much as there's geometric shapes, but I mean if you look at
Nothing's random.
each artwork
Yeah.
was designed individually, of course,
I'd
right?
like- yeah.
But
Nothing's random.
if you look how random everything is, if you like kind of zoom in and look at things, if there's two lines next to each other, they will meet. There's
Yeah.
perfection in this imperfection.
100%.
If I can just say, if everyone has a look, if everyone comes into your shop and looks, as much as everything appears like it's just shapes, colors, whatever, if you kind of like have a look, if nothing's random, there
There's things in it,
are
bro.
shapes, and there's the
I mean,
38 round, there's the
right
face,
behind me
there-
here is the
but
virtual
it's saying
man,
that,
Da
Jason,
Vinci,
in
bro.
saying that,
That
it's
doesn't fucking
random.
come from nowhere, bro.
But it's random, but it fits.
everything's
It
together.
fits.
Yeah,
Everything
yeah.
fits. The coffee shop fits. The vape shop. Oh, dude, everything
Yeah.
fits.
You're not
dude.
walking into the vape
It's
shop.
lekker, bro.
You're not
It's
walking into a vape shop, a puff of clouds, and
Exactly.
then
You
having to.
feel
barber shop,
comfortable.
If you
You
want to go
walk
to a
in and
vape
it's
shop, get it.
comfortable.
If you want to smoke a
That's
little bit
it.
hard, walk further.
100%.
It's not.
100%,
That makes
bro.
sense.
It's
Yeah,
comfortable.
Is that not
Exactly
like
what
a
you're
little
saying.
bit
It's
brilliant?
comfortable. That's it.
Like,
It's
that's
A little bit of brilliance.
yeah.
That's all it took.
Because,
Brilliant.
I mean,
Brilliant.
That's an
Like-
achievement in itself.
Yeah, because
100%,
as you'll
bro.
say, there's like
Achievement.
1,000 vape shops in the country, but why do you?
How
want to
many
go
of
to
them have
this
a
one
barber shop? How many of them
specifically?
have a coffee shop?
Yeah,
That's the thing, bro.
Exactly.
Another big point of mine is it's quite a saturated market. Not gonna lie, it's quite a saturated market.
There are a lot of vape
and
shops.
price is similar on everything. You know the kind of politics behind vape.
Yeah.
You know this
Very
because we kind of within.
How do you stand out?
You know, how can you differentiate it? And it's just fucking stepping aside from the norms. It's as simple as that.
It's
you know?
about environment.
But
It's-
this is how you differentiate.
Exactly, bro.
This is how you do it.
I've said it from the beginning. It's avant-garde and unique. That's the best way I can explain.
It's like
It's
a.
avant-garde and
Become a
unique.
Vanta Black.
It's like, okay, so I'll the way that I can put it is
Best way. That was the best way to describe it. That was the best way to describe
Machete
it.
Monday, obviously we had to immediately do several security upgrades to the house.
Yeah.
And I had to go to this one shop to get floor polish, and then afterwards go to builders to get
Is that a
like,
security
like-
upgrade?
No. The floor polish was
personal
He must slip. This was a guy's best time, bro. It's on the
Home Alone shit,
side.
Well, because we gotta show, hey, we got robbed, but our floors are immaculate. Anyway,
No, Robert's gonna walk in and be like, okay.
yeah. Anyways,
This is a fucking secure place. Their floors are polished. They're definitely on a gun.
I had to go and get like new door handles and like
All the
just a bunch of shit.
stuff. Yeah.
And I equate this to 38 because I walked into this one shop where my mom said because the floor polish that she likes is some
Particular.
random shit from some random
She
place.
knows her
It's
fucking
particular.
floor
It's
Yeah.
particular, yeah.
So she was like, you have to go get it from this shop. She gave me directions. She couldn't even tell me the name of the shop. She was like, go to Randburg, go into this place, walk down here and walk left and you'll find it, kind of shit.
And that's
Walk into that shop, find the floor polish, and then I was like, you know what, like this shop sells a lot of random shit. Perhaps I could find everything I needed from builders from here. And I did, bro. I needed like light fixtures.
Small
and shit
things
like
you wouldn't
that.
even expect,
Shit
but you
that
got
I
it.
was like, I do not expect to buy light bulbs in the same place that I bought
Yeah.
floor polish.
And you probably paid more. But
no,
it's the
less,
convenience.
much less,
But
less. Yeah.
it's all about comfort.
So, yeah,
it's all
yeah.
about
So
comfort.
I will then
It's
in
usability
And
and it's
convenience.
accessibility.
There we go.
Yeah,
You
so
walk
then
into a shop, I'm gonna get
Exactly,
a haircut, I have to
it's
wait, let me grab a milkshake.
So that's why I say,
You
yeah,
walk into
38
the
is
shop.
that place.
If you smoke a vape and you need a haircut,
It's
one of
2 in
us-
1, bro.
every one of us smoke a vape and we all need haircuts at some stage.
Think about it. For like
Hashtag Umar.
for the real vape smokers, bro. Think about how many times like, okay, I'm out of the, like vape flavor, whatever, but also like I'm just gonna run to the shops. You walk into the shop, all right, I need to grab vape flavor. You getting your vape flavor, whatever, and you like, hey, you know, I'm here. Let me grab a haircut.
Exactly, bro.
While I'm here, let me
It's
grab a
foot
milkshake.
traffic.
Let me grab a coffee on my way out.
Yeah.
It's so like
It's
it's
for works.
all in once. It's
Oaks,
all in
my
once.
mind just ran onto this. I need to give a shout out to someone right here, right now.
Yeah, give it.
Over the past weekend is Josh Foss.
For the
Yeah,
24.7
he really
shout out,
has.
baby.
He's hooked you up, bro. He's hooked you
I
up,
mean,
bro. He's
with
hooked
the
you up.
94.7 thing, they boosted me so much. I was on the radio.
A couple times.
No,
Thank
it
you,
was,
Anele.
well, it
Thank
was
you,
about a week
94.7.
ago. About a week ago.
About a week.
But yeah, I mean, I was on the radio and they gave me a bunch of free stock and the foot traffic that I got from that. And this is a part of the reason why I'm so marketing orientated. First of all, because I'm good at it, evidently.
Yeah.
I'm good at portraying the brand in a picture or in a video or something like that.
But you got people that back you.
Yeah.
And the
people
thing
that
is-
can support
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
which
and I
is
mean,
very cool.
when that name gets out, do you know how many people walked in here, especially over that weekend where the 94.7 thing was running, and said, "I didn't even fucking know you guys were here." And that is what I'm trying to get to.
Yeah, it's
So with the online store, you know, it all ties in, the traffic,
Yeah.
the marketing side of things. You go into a website. Let's say you want to buy a fucking light bulb from
Hands up for polish.
wherever, and you see that, and you go down, you click order, and then there's a number and an address, and you see, oh fuck, that place is 10 kilometers away. Let me drive there instead. Free shipping, but I'll get it in 4 days as opposed to getting it right now if I get in my car and go. So I mean, with the online site, getting that kind of traffic involved,
Yeah.
it just opens that market.
Yeah, it's important.
You know,
bro, and
it's
a
noticeability,
massive shout, bro,
you
and
know.
as much as it's a shout out to Josh and that, like, it's a big shout out to Lele and the 94.7, bro. What they did for you was fucking huge, bro.
Yeah,
I don't think a
100%,
lot of
bro.
people realize, like, the
And it was
fact
a
that they've
fluke,
just
eh?
been willing
It was
to
a
just
fluke.
give it to you
That's awesome.
for free and
It's
let you
really
profit
awesome.
from that.
But
is
can I
big.
ask you guys a question?
Yeah.
Is it egotistical and arrogant of me to say, just a quote,
Yeah.
the harder you work, the luckier you get? Gary Player actually said that.
No ways, bro. There's
I'm
no
not
there's
sure
no argument about
because
that, bro.
I
agree
think
with you
that
100%. bro.
regardless of what the shop does, it will.
I think
always
it comes
be
in a relationship.
successful
The harder you work,
because,
the luckier you feel.
No, it will. We will. You know, like we all know we're going to heaven. The shop will be successful.
But we
And
fucking
it's-
hope we go.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
If there is a heaven.
Yeah.
It's not because
Don't
of
bring
us.
us into that shit.
It's because
Karen,
at the end of the
top, come
day,
now, bro.
of
Karen.
all else, we have Tyler's love, and that's all that.
Tyler's
means.
done it, bro. Shout out to
Thank you, Tyler. Shout out to Tyler.
No, Jared, serious though. I think
You said shot boy, eh?
I think
You thought it was a boy as on
I
that.
think hard work comes in a serious relationship to luck. The harder you work, the luckier you feel.
100%.
So if you're just lazy and shit, you're not gonna feel lucky.
Yeah.
The harder you work, the more you want something, the more you get going and do things, the luckier you're gonna feel. But that luck is just what you've done. It's just you doing your thing.
I don't know if I
Luck,
agree with that.
luck
Yeah,
is
I
an
agree with
excuse
that.
for
I
lazy
agree with
people.
that.
Yeah.
Luck is an excuse for
I
lazy
didn't get
people.
lucky because I didn't get off my couch and go get the job interview.
100%.
Type of
Lucky.
thing. That's
The
how I
harder
see it.
you work,
Yeah, I get
the
that.
luckier you get.
Some people do
It's
get
that
lucky
easy.
out of chance,
It is
but for
that
the most
easy.
part, I think
Do
the
know who
harder
said
you
that?
work, the luckier
Nob
you
Kes
get.
always said that.
Gary
Hey,
Player.
he's cool, bro. Fuck you, bro. Fuck you, bloody.
I have a fundamental issue with that statement, bro. Like,
You can be born into luck. I get what you're saying.
yeah, like Donald Trump got a small loan of $1 million from his father.
He also,
Yeah,
he
but
also
what
went
did he-
bankrupt
but what
three
did he
times.
What did his
Suicide
father
plan.
do to get that $1 million?
Yeah,
to give
Yeah,
him?
no, exactly.
No,
no,
but
exactly.
that's what Tom was saying. He got born into luck. But then my argument is he's
What
gone
did he do
bankrupt
with that
3
luck,
times
bruh?
and still has 7
Different
Trump
types of
towers.
bankruptcy.
Yeah.
Different types of bankruptcy.
Yeah, but
Oh,
he did
because
it.
because he
did
works.
it. Yeah, Dude,
You can't go back.
he
A lot of
ended
people
up
go
as a
bankrupt
success
and
though, bro.
fuck it up.
Hey, Bill Gates' kids
Not
must
everyone
feel
can go
really
bankrupt
lucky.
sometimes.
Apparently, okay, like, don't quote me on this.
Tabo is someone known for not
it's
being
one of those
quoted.
billionaires. It might have been Bill Gates or someone else. Who's
Warren
like,
Buffett, he's not giving.
Yeah, his kids won't get shit.
Yeah, I heard that.
Bill Gates, I heard of Bill Gates as well.
Yeah,
His kids
I
are
heard
getting
that
like
as well.
2 million or something small,
It's-
but the
it's
rest is just going.
1%. I heard it was 1%.
The rest is just
dude.
going.
The
I
rest
don't
is
need
going
to
to
sign up
charity.
for it.
Tabo, listen, please unplug that bottom one and just hit the top button. There's one camera left.
I don't
That's
need
the
to
top
sound
left.
Okay,
ungrateful,
let's. Should we
but
finish?
I
Let's
have
wrap
a
this
fucking
up.
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that going? Yeah.
You said hit the top button.
Okay, cool. Guys, let's wrap this up. Cameras are dying and it's getting late. There's fucking curfew still. Worst thing about lockdown. What do we think of the flavors?
Dude,
What do we think of this watermelon
Where we
pear?
it's a power
Because
flavor.
honestly,
It's a power
Tom,
flavor.
Reese, let's start with you. Let's start with you. You're a bit of you're the harshest critic of the night. So Reese, let's start with you.
So, bro, I'm still like undecided whether I'm like a fruit flavor or dessert flavor. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I do enjoy this flavor a lot.
You're
And
a
like-
food flavor.
A fruit
Hey, fruit. Come on.
And like, I don't want to be like, oh, I was just trying to support someone and something, but like the others have been sort of like berry. I know I've enjoyed kiwi, I didn't enjoy the hype and stuff, but this I do really enjoy. I can't give much behind it because like I'm still like not 100% sure, so I'm gonna give it like a 6-7.
I think
Yeah.
you're just obsessed with lemon lime brew.
Yeah.
I do enjoy lemon lime,
Yeah.
but
I think you
lemon
haven't
lime's my
stopped
favorite.
thinking about lemon lime.
Yeah.
He's smoking this watermelon saying, I wish this was lemon
No,
lime.
very true, very true. This is a very good flavor, but I think Tabo's right. I'm gonna give this a 6-7 and on Tabo's right.
So this is my favorite flavor of the evening. As I said earlier, lychee is a flavor that goes under, but watermelon is almost tasteless when you do it wrong. And here, I'm not going to say that it's tasteless, but I can't taste the watermelon and I can't taste the pear.
It's
what
not
I can
strong,
taste
it's not
is
overbearing.
a combination of a new flavor that I fucking phenomenally love.
You cannot
So-
relate this to nothing. This
Yeah,
is a
yeah,
new.
yeah,
This
yeah.
for me, I've never had this before in
It's
my life.
apple
This is a
cider
new
vinegar.
flavor.
Yeah.
So personally, it's
I'm gonna
my
be
favorite
different,
flavor by far.
I enjoy this.
And out of 10, I have to give it a 2 out of 10 rating because whilst it's my favorite, I do not understand why you've bamboozled my taste buds. And I'm being a hater. I'm upset. It gets a 2 because I'm upset.
Because he's
That's why.
confused if it's a
Yeah,
9 for
yeah.
flavor, but it's
So I'm
2
getting
out
a
of 10
fucking
for-
7 and a 2, even though you love the flavor. Okay,
Yeah.
Anyway,
The
open
two-
and honest opinions, that's what I wanted.
It doesn't make sense, but I really enjoy this flavor. I will not. I'm gonna give you an 8. Yeah.
An 8, cool.
I'm gonna give you an 8 because I actually like between the kiwi lychee, it creates a nice balance. I enjoy this. It's a good one.
Okay.
It's a good one.
For
You
me,
know it's watermelon pear, right?
no,
I
but
said between.
between
Ah,
them,
between,
between
yeah.
comparing.
Listen, listen,
The
Tom.
podcast is
Listen,
about see the
bro.
headphones so we can hear what everyone's saying.
You want it?
So for me, this watermelon, I personally, and now I'm not an ice fan. I would have liked a little more ice in this.
Bro, a
But-
little bit more. Yeah,
It's not a bad thing that 2 out of the 5 flavors don't have much ice. It's kind of
Yeah.
Because not everyone wants to have a hit and be like,
Yeah,
It
exactly.
opens up for everyone. Yes, there's low ice and everything. You don't really get that cold sensation. Besides the lemon and lime. So I think in terms of a flavor perspective, I taste a lot of the watermelon, but I think that's also my mind, bro. You know what I mean? Because I went for more of a watermelon kind of flavor.
But I also taste more
Yeah,
So-
watermelon
flavor.
flavor.
though.
But there is pear, but to me the pear is an undertone. But I get what you're saying. It's a bit of it's a grey area between the two.
but
So
also